people through this experience. And I got to point out one of my favorite people who was on this stage just a few months ago in the house tonight, AD. What's up, AD?
Damn, this thing, they be cooking these things. I gotta make sure. Baby, this thing will be cooked. Let me tell you something now. Listen, this reunion, they cooked the man up there, yeah? They cooked the man differently. This FFC reunion, they cooked the man differently. It's mad at it. You get me? They cooked them differently. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. This reunion, whew, baby, it was a steak on rare. Okay, it was a steak on rare. You know, sorry, a steak well done. I should say well done because they cooked them well. Look, I can't lie to you. Okay, all right, I can't lie to you. There was a lot going on this episode. I mean, I don't know where to start. Okay. Let's do just a recap of what happened. We start off with Ashley and we start off with Tyler. Okay? We get a little background and we find out that Ashley and Tyler, Ashley told us, shut your mouth and mind your business. Okay? She said, listen, MYOB. You know what I'm saying to you, yeah? Mind the business that pays you. Mind your own. Okay? Yeah? I'm just trying to say, she told you and me to mind our business. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mind my business. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, yeah? She told us we got to back off and keep our mouth shut. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to back off and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Okay? All right? Nobody else should say anything. That's it. Simple as, yeah? They didn't cook Tyler. Tyler's still on raw. There's still meat. There's still blood running from the meat. Like, it is absolute uber pink. That brother got away with it. Okay? All right? Then they try to bring Ashley's mum in there and ask her, so what do you think about the relationship? I love their communication. I said, get the frick out of here. I'm learning from them. I said, get the frick out of here. Okay? And obviously he said he told her everything. So to be fair, he told her everything. So, from here on out, it's no longer our beef. Okay? All right? From here on out, it's nothing to do with us. Okay? But to be fair, the reunion is shot a year ago. Isn't it a year ago, whatever? So, that was one thing. Okay, quickly. RAMSES and Merissa. I'm going to say this straight away. I'm going to need Netflix, okay? And I'm going to need Vanessa and the rest of them to stop allowing Marissa's mum to threaten people. This is becoming concerning for me personally. It's concerning for me because the language we're using would never be accepted if a man was to use this language, and rightly so, because it's threatening behavior, right? I need them to stop this behavior where Marissa's mom gets to say whatever she wants to say, talking about how she's going to physically beat up somebody. We need her to stop. It is actually out of order, and it's not something we should joke with. When people actually get DV'd out here, like, and men and women can have this. It's mostly men doing it to women, by the way. Mostly men doing it to women. Stats are not in our favor. But I'm just saying that we shouldn't be allowing this kind of behavior. I'm sick and tired of it, and it also encourages other people to have mad thoughts. Now, let's leave it as it is. You know what I'm saying to you? I wouldn't want to be married into a family where your mum makes those kind of threats. I'm sorry, I wouldn't want to be married into that family, RAMSES or not. Okay, then it talks about RAMSES and Merissa and their situation. Merissa then broke down, cried about it, and to be fair, can I be honest with you? I understood what RAMSES was saying. Her energy is too much. I can't lie to you. Her energy is too much. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I finally understood what he meant when he said it. I really meant I knew what he meant. When he said it, I said, you know what, brother? I totally get it now. That energy, it is too much for me too. Yeah, if she's like her mother, we are definitely not going to be alike. I hear you, bro. You had to get out of there. You had to get out of there, bro. Okay? You had to get out of there. Your safety was in question. You know what I'm saying to you? Your safety was in question. By the way, we are going to go members only. So if you're not a member, it's £1 or $1. Sign up to the membership right now. Okay? Because once it goes members only, I don't want to hear your chat. Okay? Cool. Nikki D and Hannah. Okay, Nikki D and Hannah. Okay, all right, Nikki D and Hannah. Okay, all right, Nikki D and Hannah. We need to talk about this one. Okay, they got to medium rare with Hannah and then stopped. Yeah, they got to medium rare, they sizzled her, and then they did something which is very deceitful on Vanessa's part. Can I be honest with you? They used language by saying she's very direct. And I started looking at going, you mean when she was being disrespectful, a B word, and she was actually almost on the verge of being emotionally abusive? Okay, cool. We're gonna call that being direct. Okay, we're gonna call that being direct. Okay, all right. We threw in the little white woman tears, and then you know what's so funny? Do you know what's so funny is that the very thing that she did to Nick is the same thing her best friend did to her. You know what I mean? The same thing she did to Nick about crying and oh my god, like you know, and she barely apologized. And then they threw Kate in there, and then Kate threw in the. Oh my god, I can't believe you don't trust me. Yeah, she don't trust you. You just told her that you liked her man and her man was sexy a couple of times. How are you guys best friends? You know what I'm saying to you? How are you guys best friends? You know what I'm saying to you? It's given you're keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, how would we be best friends? Best friends, and your friend was coming to tell you this was not on Nick. That's why I said it was not on Nick. It was not on Nick. It was on Kate to be real and be honest. Why is she telling you as your best friend that your man looking good, you know? Your man looking good, you know? Your man looking good. And then come out here with the tear. Oh, please get the frick out of here. Oh my. I would never do that to you, babe. I would never do that to you. Maybe if you go and tell someone that their man looks good a couple of times, yeah, you the problem. Yeah, you the problem. And I don't know why. That okay. All right, cool. Anyway, so that was interesting as well. Leo and Brittany, who would have thought it? Now, can we be honest? Leo looked hurt at the end. Can we be honest? Leo looked hurt. Yeah, at the beginning. Let's be honest. Leo looked hurt, bro. Yeah, when he found out that Brittany was dating, he looked a bit broken. That brother had built a friendship up, ended up in the friend zone, became her best counseling buddy and her bestie of all time, and still not getting no knack. And now she gonna be with someone else. That brother was in pain. I felt it. I saw it. I saw a little pain on Leo's face, bro. He said, "I done been her friend. I done supported her. I done taken her." I done taking her to Mexico, Cabo, sorry, and still I mean, that brother felt a little bit of pain. You know what I'm saying to you? He's in the friend zone still. Okay, Monica and Stefan. Now, can I be honest with you? Stefan the real villain here. Okay, Stefan the real villain here. Okay, now, past what Stefan was saying, I totally get it, right? But Stefan is a manipulator. Can we be honest with you? Yeah, he's a manipulator. All right, Stefan is a manipulator because let me tell you why he's a manipulator. Because he knows that he messed up, right? And instead of just, and every time he's like, yeah, I messed up, yeah, I messed up. But then, okay, bro, so now why is it that, and then you're trying to make us feel sorry for you. I'm like, bro, we ain't gonna feel sorry for you, bro. Like, you don't need to make us feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying to you? You don't need us to feel sorry for you, but you're trying to make us feel sorry for you, right? That was another brother who was doing the fake tears. Bro, get the frick out of here. Get the frick out of here, bro. Get the frick out of here, man. Okay? Brother out here telling us, you know what? Old girl said she had a heart condition and then suddenly jumped to fetish. And he wanted to find out what her fetish was because it was such a jump in the conversation. Broski, if you don't get the frick out of here, brother, crazy behavior. And then you lied on top of it because then you said, oh, I only spoke to her today. No, bro. The messages run back beyond that day. Okay, they run beyond that day. Just gonna be honest with you. Yeah, they run beyond that day. Just gotta be honest with you. All right. But Monaco has been annoying. I can't lie to you. Okay. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, Monaco was over talking a few times. We didn't need it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, I weren't in it. The Brotherhood was not a brotherhood. Can we be honest with you? The Brotherhood was not a brotherhood. Niggas need to lie. Okay? Negroes need to lie. Okay? The Brotherhood failed miserably on this season. Absolutely miserably. Snitches everywhere. Yeah? Snitches everywhere. Brotherhood failed. Absolute zero. Absolute. The Brotherhood doesn't exist. Yeah? Who out here just snitching? Right? Anyway. Okay, that's it. Certain people out here, certain people are telling the truth. There's certain conversation that don't need to leave the lips of the man them cave. Yeah? If I said Hannah looks like a grenade, it's for the man them talk. Right? There are certain conversations for the man them. The ladies are not spilling all the tea because what is said amongst the ladies is said amongst the ladies. Why are you snitching? I grew a distaste for Ramses and Stefan because they're acting like little B words. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? You're acting like little B words. Yeah? The man them talk is the man them talk. It's for the locker room and the man them are having their conversation. Yeah? That's our talk. You don't go and snitch. The girls are not snitching. Why are you snitching? The girls are not telling all the truth. They would have never told the truth. They would have never told the truth. You know why? Because not every conversation needs to be told the truth. What you tell your boys, yeah, is for your boys. You don't go and tell the other, like, yeah, you definitely. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Looking at them, man, them definitely talking at arse's blood. Talking at arse's blood. Not worth it at all. Anyway, and then obviously, ending on Alex and Tim. Now, I might have an unpopular opinion here. Can I be honest with you? I saw both Tim and Alex as problems. Okay. First and foremost, we are never going to bypass the fact that she actually did put her hand on his mouth. Okay, because though he didn't call it assault, I'm so sorry. I don't care what anyone says. He didn't call it assault, but he did say she did touch him. I watched it 4 or 5 times. Just rewind it. He did say, I got in Bex because she touched me. So as far as I'm concerned, okay, all right, that should never happen, right? And we should have never glossed over that. Like, oh, it wasn't assault. It wasn't. No, but it doesn't matter if you think it's assault or not. Well, even if he says it's not assault, the moment you put your hand on someone's face, he was pissed off about it, right? So he may not call it assault because he don't want to be a victim or whatever. That's up to you. You know what I'm saying to you? That's up to you. You don't want to be a victim. But if someone puts their hand in your mouth, yeah, bro, you were vexed enough. You were vexed enough to be responding. Okay, all right. Getting loud. You don't need to put your hand in my mouth. No, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. There is no excuse. With the people outside, there is no excuse. We would never give this excuse for a man saying, well, you were getting so hyped and people outside, I didn't want them to hear you, so I put my hand in my mouth. Nobody would never accept that. And I don't need to ever accept that. Don't ever. We should never accept that as an excuse. I'm so sorry. Let's not do that game. We should never. Now, that doesn't discount the fact that I think Tim has got also problems. Okay? We got Tim as some problems here. Okay, all right. I'm gonna be very honest. Tim can't tell the truth for some. Like, there's certain stories that Tim tells. He exaggerates and hyperboles. He adds details to stories, and I feel like he don't deep that he's not telling the full truth of the story, right? Or he's seen it in he's seen it from such a perspective where he only sees one perspective. It's so locked in. It's a bit off. You know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, some of the storytelling, I understood when she corrected him. I was like, yeah, she had to correct him. I get it because I get why she corrected him because some of the storytelling wasn't quite right. Okay, all right. It's like it gets convoluted. Did she go to the club or not? Okay. Did she go to the club or not? Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. All right. Did she go to the club at 4 a.m. or not? Okay. Now, we could also tell that Alex, talking about how she wanted to be there, didn't want to be there. Okay. Now, he said he had doubts. I hear that too. You know what I mean? I hear that too. You know what I mean? I think personally, Alex should have left that relationship a long time ago. Tim should have left it a long time ago. Okay? All right? So for me personally, Alex was also not telling the truth. Because, baby girl, yes, you're right. We saw the receipts on Instagram. Okay? He did try to message you. He did try to tell you. And you didn't... I don't know about you, but how are you not messaging your man back when you go to the club? Okay, and then don't come back and you don't tell your man into the early hours of the morning. I'm confused. Why are you denying that? Why are you now lying? They're both liars. They are both liars. But we want to make Tim the only person here. They are both liars. Okay, all right. They are both liars. Okay, they are both liars. Because she knew she was in a club and she knew she didn't message him early hours of the morning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You was out, babe. It's okay. You was out, babe. You know what I'm saying to you? You're both liars. I don't want to call it lying. At that point, it's not even lying. What it is that both of you have you reinvent history. That's what it is. Okay? You both reinvent history. Now, obviously, Tim saying what he said, we didn't get the fullness of understanding why Tim dropped the thing. Why Tim still did a letter for the dad when he was unsure. I understand why she was vexed about that. I can understand that. About the fact that I can understand why Tim why she was angry at Tim for reading the letter to her dad. She was vexed about that. Then saying he had doubts 3 hours later. I can see how that can be a problem. This show is just a very rushed process, and people are telling some stuff, and so I get it, man. Do you know what I mean? But that's my overall quick thoughts on that's my quick thoughts. Okay, is crazy. Yeah, I know. Her not texting him out 10 a.m. was crazy work. They're both crazy. I can't lie to you. You know what I mean? They're both crazy. But a reality of the situation is I feel like there's a lot on both sides here as well. So that's my quick thoughts. You know what? We're gonna go members only, and then I'm gonna ask if you guys want to come in and have your say, because I'm not gonna talk too much. I'll do my reviews probably on Friday when I do it properly. It's a quick one, just quick thoughts. If you want to have a quick thoughts, I'm gonna put a link in the chat for you guys. If you want to have quick thoughts, just say your thoughts really quickly, and then we'll get you on here, and then I'm going to bounce. I don't want to be on here too long. You know what I mean? We've got to say that stuff for Saturday. Do you get me? But my main thing, if I'm honest with you, the main one that really got me was the Hannah stuff. I can't lie to you. That ticked me right off. Because also, Vanessa tried to help them gaslight Nick. And I said, nah. No, sis. And the fact that Merissa was defending her, I said, Merissa, how are you defending? I just didn't get it. I said, baby, what are you doing? What are you doing, Merissa? Why are you defending someone who is intentionally being a B word and has admitted to being a B word to the person, and you're defending them? Merissa, where'd you get the sense? Where'd you get the sense? That's when I said, I just knew I lost it. I said, that's when I knew she lost it. Okay? That's when I knew she lost. That's what I said. That's when I realized, Merissa, you've got your discernment is off. Your discernment is off. Okay? Nah, man. Nah. She didn't. Layla, what part did she defend him? What part did she defend him? What part did she defend him? Please. What part did she defend? She didn't defend anything. You know what I'm saying to you? You know what I mean? Come out of it, Merissa. Come off it, mate. Come off it, Merissa. We need to understand what's going on. We don't even know why you even got so involved. Nah. Come off it. Come off it, mate. You know what I'm saying to you? I said, come off it, mate. Come off it. Let's have a little look at what was going on.
It was 2 weeks right before we left. It was
2 weeks before you left for the pod, so right before filming.
Yeah, it was a very Nick note. It was like, there was 3 entries. So one goes, he wants to sell 2 homes this year. Okay, he wants to be in the best shape of his life in the next few weeks. And then the third bullet point, which was by far the most interesting, was that he wants to be the most famous person ever on Love is Blind.
All right, listen, that point here, he wants to be the most famous people on Love is Blind. Can I be honest with you? Okay, What's that got to do with the fact that you were behaving the way you were behaving? No, can we let's be honest. What has him? He wanted to be the most famous person on Love Is Blind. You made him to be that person. Right? You made him to be that person. What is it that listen, the brother said he wanted to be the most famous person on Love Is Blind. I'm sorry. The way he did it, he ain't never gonna be the most famous person. What? Taking abuse? Taking abuse? Hannah, why do you think you came on the show? Did you come in to find a husband? Because there are dating shows out there. Sorry. Let me just see that. Who's behind me? Who's Lukey? Lukey, I can't see anything behind. Sorry, I just couldn't see anything, Lukey. I don't know if you were there. But I need to go into let me go into members only anyway. Listen, if you haven't got a membership, you need to get a membership because you won't be able to talk in a minute. So I'm about to make it members only. So if you haven't got a membership, get a membership. It's £1, $1. I've made it cheap, okay? So you guys can enjoy, all right? Members only now, all right? You can type in the chat, but members only, okay? All right? Now, listen, okay. So, yeah, listen. I see you, Jay. I'm going to bring you on in a second. I was like, baby, where is he going? What, you know what I'm saying to you? Now, you know, now, how is he going to be famous being abused? But now you've made him famous. Now he will be famous.
I was like, oh, okay, it all fucking makes sense now.
Do you remember writing that stuff?
Yeah. I want to set the record straight. I write 90-day goals. At that date was the end of my 90-day goals. When I'd written it, it was 3 months before that. I was with my friend. He got me into.
What I don't like is that they're trying to reframe the whole narrative, and Merissa joined her on the bullcrap. That's what I didn't like. I was like, Merissa, why are you fight your own battle? You have a battle to fight with RAMSES. You barely could say anything. You were sliding down a wall, sliding down a sofa. Your mum is out here threatening your man, and you went back 6 months later. You need to focus on that. I need you to focus on there. Leave Hannah alone. Hannah is not the horse you need to be riding on. That woman will take you down the street and sell you. You know what I'm saying to you? AD did the exact same thing last season. That woman, you're going to defend yourself. You're going to sell you down the river. Okay? Sell you down the river. Confusion. Absolute confusion.
Doing these 90-day things. He's like...
But I can't lie to you. Hannah does look good, though. No. Listen. Let's be honest. I'm never going to lie to you. Hannah does look good, though. I ain't going to lie to you. Hannah was looking good. I ain't going to lie to you. You know, I don't, and you know me, I don't play with the caucus words, but I have to admit, she looked good, though. No, she looked good. You know what I'm saying to you? No, I have to be honest. The jawline was looking good. The hair was looking good. Not my physical physique. I like a little bit more meat, but I'm just saying she did look good. Let's be honest. Nah, let's be honest. She looked good. I ain't gonna hate on her. Okay, all right. She looked banging. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, I ain't gonna hate you. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's continue. What I will say is Vanessa might not have slept that night. No offense to her. Just saying, like, I need Vanessa to find peace because it's anyway.
To write down, and he was just like, write down anything. So I was like, okay, get in good shape. Sell 2 homes. Obviously, I wanted to sell 10 homes by that time, and be famous off Love Is Blind. That was way before I even knew I was going to be on the show.
Way 2 weeks before.
That's the date. It's a 90-day thing, so I write the finishing date as that.
So I think they're trying to put it as obviously that he wasn't being honest about whether he wanted to he was just there for the show, right? I think honestly, Leigh, she looks like she's pushing through misery. I can't lie to you. She does look like she's pushing through misery. I can't lie to you. She needs peace. My thing is, obviously, with the next situation, they try to reframe this whole situation. Yeah, we didn't talk about Hannah's notes. No. We have to really deep this, If Hannah is a man, if Hannah is now Hancock, why did Hancock? I'm trying to think of another H name. If Hannah is now Andy, yeah. If you collate all her behaviors, we will never let them off the hook. This woman was writing letters about how she felt about the person she was in a relationship with and leaving it on the counter. Now they're trying to rewrite history and gaslight us about what we saw on the screen. and trying to tell us the reason why I was mean is because I thought you were fake. I was insecure because you made me feel insecure because I knew that you thought I was a grenade. So this is actually scary behavior. No. We have to call it what it is. She's actually scary to me. She's scary because she's rewriting whole of history and they are helping her rewrite history. And Marissa's sitting there helping her rewrite history. I need her. I need Tyler. I need Stefan. Okay. All right. They need the bin. We need them in the bin. We need them in the bin, in the chute, in the bin now. Okay? And then add Kate while you're there too, because Kate's a little minx. She thought she was select too with the white woman tears. Throw her in there too. Crazy. Where was the accountability from Hannah? Hannah wasn't even accountable. Her apology came late in the game. And when they asked her, do you think you did anything wrong? Vanessa's now helping her by saying, oh, you were direct.
Know him. I got to know him as like a really good person. But with the things I was hearing, about like her looks and how he was rating her and things like that, like it just makes you question, like, okay, was he serious about her?
When you say other people, do you mean other people in this room?
Yeah, I'm not the only one, and there's people on this couch you can also.
Because those are fairly serious. Like if you're accusing him of saying things.
And my problem is this: why is it that no? Do you know what my point was? This, yeah. So who said it? Why is it people are saying I know what he said, but nobody was able to say what he actually said? So what did he say, guys? Because Stefan was starting off by, yeah, he said it. And when we asked Stefan was like, no, well, he didn't actually say that. What he said was about, wait. Did he say it or did he not say it, Stefan? Because you was fasting there. Ramses, when did he say it? Did he say it or did he not say it? I was just looking at it, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I'm not saying he didn't say anything. Again, I'm not saying he didn't say anything. We know he said something. But now suddenly you're shirking the responsibility of now saying, you wanted to be out there and say, just take accountability. No, then say what you said. Then say what you said. Since you are snitching already, snitch all the way. Right? Since you're snitching already, snitch all the way. But you lot are little bees. I don't like that. I don't like when man them, and me specifically, I'm talking about man them. I don't talk about women, I don't like that. But the man them, we have a code, right? If I share something with you privately, I don't air that out to other people. What you said to me privately, I'm not about to air that out to other people. You see what I'm saying to you? But then if you are going to snitch all the way. Don't be a little bee and snitch a little bit and then be like, when they ask you what actually was said, you're like, oh, just take accountability. No, go all the way. Because you was already there snitching, so go all the way. Go all the way. Since you're there, you're brave enough to now start telling everybody's business about what's said in private. Right? So you're saying that he said this behind your back. No, he said it to the man then privately, and they snitched to their gal. So the man then needs to take accountability. You know who you are, Ramses and Stefan. Right? Snitching and not going all the way. No, since you are singing like a canary, since you're here singing like a canary, like your name is Tweety Bird, go all the way. Don't half-heart it. Don't tell me to be accountable. Come and tell the whole truth of what I said. And show yourself that you're not my friend. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? There's stuff like this shows me that some of these people are not actually good friends at all. Some of this shows me that people are not actually good friends. Let me tell you why. Because even if you told your girl, you should be like telling your girl that don't ever say this. You should never come up in conversation. Do you see what I'm saying to you? See me, yeah? Hey, listen. I'm honest with you. I understand. Listen, you have a partner. We know people pillow talk. If you're gonna pillow talk, right? You tell your girl, listen. If she says anything, you're gonna deny her. So she better not say anything because you're not gonna back her. Because if I'm telling you something. If I'm telling you like, yo, babe, maybe I've gone too far and I said something too far. I'm looking at you and I'm going, listen, if you ever say it, I promise you I will not defend you. So don't come out and say my business. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because it wasn't your business. Maybe I slipped up and said something. So I'm looking at you as my partner Don't go and say something. Because if you do now, I will not defend you. Because I was meant to stay between me and you. You've now betrayed me too. Nah. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, I wouldn't have said it in the first place, but the reality of the situation is the fact that they actually snitched tells me they're not good friends of Nick at all. That was private conversations. He didn't say it to the ladies, but the man them started snitching like canaries. Ramses and Stefan. Two people who I don't really rock with that. Anyway, you know what I'm saying to you? You can tell they're not part of the bro code. You know what I'm saying to you? Stefan likes talking too much and doing too much. Look how he outed Garrett, talking about how... And Stefan is another one. Look how he outed Garrett about the ladies are going to come after him and try to get at Taylor. No. Anyway, this is my final sentiments. I've reached my half an hour point. I don't rate that kind of behavior at all. You know what I'm saying to you? Don't rate it at all. Okay? Stefan and Ramses, don't rate that behavior at all. You know what I'm saying to you? Don't rate that at all. You know what I mean? Yeah? Don't do that. Random talks, you know what I mean?
You know, behind her back about her looks and etc. That's...
Yeah, I think if we need a fact check and get perspective,
I
that
don't
was
know.
her.
Didn't you say about...
We were each, we dated each other pretty far in the process. There's a reason why you kept talking. And you're trying to shit on me for no reason. I never brought your looks up once. This whole thing is blown out of perspective. I never once mentioned Hannah's looks at all, right? You said your
Are
piece.
y'all really gonna sit here and
That's
just, like,
not true,
come
Nick.
on.
That's not true.
Ramses.
I talk.
So this is where I got pissed off. Because none of you know what actually was said. Okay? None of you know what was said. Now, protection and HR, let's not conflate the two. No. Let's not do that. Let's not conflate the two. No. It's completely different. Talking about crimes is not talking about partners. Please. Let's not conflate the two. They're not even close. I got tired today. They're not even close. What you're talking about is crimes. Okay? NDAs don't cover crimes. And neither would I cover crimes. I'm not about to cover your crimes. If you are a diddler, I'm not about to cover your crime up. That's not the same bro code. That is criminal activity of evil intent. That is an evil covenant. That has nothing to do with bro code. Bro code is simply here about the things I'm telling you about, certain things that are close to my heart. You're not supposed to share it. That has got nothing to do with diddly. Let's not conflate the two. That's not what happened. That's not a bro code. That is crime. And that's completely different. Okay? Completely different. Now, back to the last part, and I'm going to get Jay on. Like I said, if you want to join the live, I want to hear your point of view. You know what I'm saying to you? Let's go. Okay? This part here by the ladies.
Talk to you about it.
You talked to Steven about it, and Steven talked to me about it.
I didn't.
You have to be honest. You did. You said not nice things about the way Hannah looked.
I didn't
Hannah has
say
said shitty shit about you on camera and off camera, and you have also. So just take accountability.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Okay, so
Monica,
you said she looked like a
what
grenade.
did?
Literally said she looked like a grenade.
I never said
You
that.
Yes,
you did.
I never said that.
5 out of 10.
I never said.
Now, the problem here that we have is that unless he said it to you, you don't know. You are going on based on one Stefan. You want to believe Stefan? You want to believe Stefan who lied to you, Monica? Okay? Stefan who lied to you. You want to believe Stefan? And I'm not saying Stefan didn't lie. He probably told the truth. He probably did say it. But again, it is something that was said behind the scenes. So it needed not to come out. He was not trying to say it in a way of trying to hurt her. Right? He was not trying to hurt Hannah's feelings. So why are we bringing... we just need to take accountability. No, I don't have to. Because it was behind the scenes. It was behind the scenes. It's completely different. You know what I'm saying to you? Completely different. I was not saying it straight to her. So the fact that she roped in everybody else as well, I was just disgusted by that. Disgusted. Absolutely disgusted by this behavior. Absolutely disgusted by the behavior. You know what I mean? The whole gang up on the habit. I was like, what's going on here? Oh, no. Just take accountability. No. Nah, last one.
Said that.
Yes, you
That's
did.
what you guys heard from this person and this person.
You're friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Steven, I don't want to bring up bro code and any violation of bro code, but I mean, this is clearly sounds like it's gone through you. So did that happen? Yeah.
Now, he says yeah, but then when they ask him, did he say what he said? He goes back on it.
I mean, we've got to be honest. That's why I'm protective of Hannah, because there was a lot of other things happening that clearly explains why she would feel insecure in her relationship.
No. We're not going to excuse pretty much abusive behavior, almost there. Abusive behavior, and we're like, that's why she would feel so insecure. That's not why she felt insecure. Let's not do that. No. Because how would Hannah know? No. If he never said it to her, how did she know? God damn it. Get my skillet again to start cooking up these Negroes. How would she know? Okay, how would she have known? Because he never said it to her. So how would she know? Do you see? That's why I'm so protective of her. Why are you protective of her? He never said it to her. So how would she know? Huh? So now we're excusing the almost abusive behavior. Look at Merissa, almost proud. Yes.
Yep.
We're now proud about somebody abusing somebody else because it's okay, because she felt a little bit insecure.
Why she would feel frustrated. I mean, yeah, you said you talked about her looks in a very unkind way. When we were flying home from Mexico, you were the only one on the plane telling strangers, like, we're here to film a show. We're here to film. I mean, it was...
Again, so he never told you specifically about her looks. He only said about we're flying to do a show. Come on, man. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on. I got you, yeah, I got you.
It was like, it was hard to watch. It didn't seem like when Hannah found the note, Hannah reached out to me shortly after she found Nick's 3 goals. I think the same day. I was 0% surprised.
Yeah, we weren't
0% surprised.
It's just funny.
Y'all were 0% surprised, but yet you all, how are you all surprised? But suddenly, you lot all had him at the top of your list in the pods. In the very beginning, you had him at the top of the list. Was you not all talking about how he was spicy in the pods? Get the frick out of it. Was you not all talking about how spicy he was in the pods? This is giving gang up. It's giving gang up. It's giving you've been colluded with. It's giving you've been compromised. It's given we got a story straight behind the scenes, baby. People's pain is what they're locking into Hannah with. Because Monica's been hurt, Marissa's been hurt, they're like, well, since our men were trash, Nick's got to be trash too. No, baby, that's just your men. Ramses was trash for you, and we also have, as well, Stefan being trash for you. So then they're trying to, they want to have, well, all our men were trash. No. No. Your men were trash, and that's what you have to do. That's it.
I need to hear, the woman kind of getting at me because I never talked to them once on the show. I never told Steven, how I felt about Hannah.
Steven, he just said he never talked to you about the grenade. Is that...
He talked to me about the grenade, but he didn't tell me about how he actually felt because, again, we had only had the reveal.
So he talked to you about the grenade. What part? So he didn't talk to you about how you felt, but he talked to you about the grenade. This is even more confusing. So he talked to you about the grenade, but not how he felt. Well, if he told you about the grenade, you should know how he felt. If he told you about the grenade, you should know how he felt. The grenade is an indication of how he felt. Man, if they don't get Stefan out of here, bro, with your sleep apnea that you said you have. Anyway, let me get some people on. I see some people trying to come behind. I see some people coming on. So anyway, let's get the show on the way. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? You get me? Crazy ass people are mazzoline out here, cause yes, JJ.
What's going on? Okay, all right. Let's stay here so we can break this down so it can forever be broken, okay? So we get out the pods. He sees Hannah. We go on a trip for 2 weeks. We're in Mexico. For a few days in Mexico, she treated this man like crap before they even seen everybody else that's in Mexico. So nobody knows how he feels about Hannah up until we get into the group setting. That does not dismiss how she has been treating him up until then. She came out the pods talking mess. I'm taller than you. I'm this, I'm that, or whatever and stuff like that. So you didn't fancy his looks out the pod either, ma'am. Y'all both was on the same playing field, whether he did or didn't. Yet we don't have it anywhere where he says anything on camera. So you're telling me this man is this much of a mastermind who you agree is, like has she stated, immature, irresponsibly, financially, don't have his stuff together. You're telling this man that he is all of these things, but he is this slick to keep all of his comments off camera, even while talking to Steven. who likes to talk about everything. Now, these cameras would have definitely went back and showed us he's saying something because they like to do that. They have not once showed us that. Then on top of it, you find this letter that he leaves out of his goals some weeks after the breakup, and you're now trying to use that to manipulate the system. This is why you was a hoe bee the whole time. Ma'am, you came out telling us this is you and this is how you are. You're direct in all of these things. So if this is you or this is the reason why you were this, please help me understand, because I'm confusion right now on trying to figure out which one it is, Hannah. And Merissa, why you got all this spice for Nick, but you ain't got nothing for Ramses? You got so much spice for Nick, you outed yourself in the middle of it. You told everybody you was still effing Ramses. That's why you went back 6 months later. Oh, you missed that part?
Wait, I mean, oh!
Out said it. Flat out said, I was still effing him. So I was like, oh, wow. And then Ramses, I know you got your nerves to sit here and not even try to look at Nick in his face while you trying to tell him to confess something while you sitting here on mute every time Merissa asks you something. You still ain't gave her a real reason on why the breakup is outside of the energy. Just tell her the energy she has doesn't match your ex-wife. That's the answer, okay? Like, sir. And yes, oh yes, if you go back and look at it, Coach O, you're gonna see Ramsey's big-eyed look too, because he was like, oh, you wasn't supposed to tell nobody we was still effing around in them 6 months. So why y'all all up here trying to tell everybody take accountability? Not one of y'all took accountability for crap. So y'all not about to sit here and try to make me hate Nick for no daggone reason. Nick might be a lot of things, but I just don't take him as a man that's going to sit here and outly tell somebody or tell a bunch of people all this crap or whatever like that. He admitted that he wasn't too fond of her looks. He admitted that. He said that part. What more do you want? You want him to exactly tell you how much he wasn't fond of your looks to justify the fact that you was being a bee the whole time? Ma'am, you was being a bee voluntarily. And like he said, you tell your friends how much respectful he is, how much you love him and all that stuff like that. But then 2 seconds later, he's the most disrespectful thing, him and Katie. And then gonna sit and play in Katie face with that little fake apology, like, oh, we're good. I didn't mean what I said. You meant what you said. You don't trust Katie. Just tell her the truth. Be a real friend right now. So this was all crazy to me. I was just like, you know what? I ain't even about to be mad at Ramses for why he left you, Merissa, because you a little off. You a little off, ma'am. You fighting the wrong battles. You should have sat quiet in that one. And Stephen, now listen. Okay, you want to keep outing everybody because you got stuff going on. You got stuff going on in your own backyard and stuff like that. You was out of control too, because you're gonna sit here with a strong yes. He said what he said, but then start skipping and stuttering when you sit there and be like, well, he said the grenade, but that's not really what he was talking about. He was talking about some other, like, no, what was he talking about? Because you gave us a strong yes, a real strong yes. But funny enough, every last one of these women on this stage was hearing this word of mouth. It was never nothing from Nick. And I was like, y'all really don't like Nick. Y'all really don't like Nick. Because all y'all had to do, if y'all was really Hannah's friend, is walk up to Nick and say, hey, did you say this about my girl? Not one of y'all took the time out to go up to Nick and ask him really what he said and look him in the face and see if he really said what he said or not. Y'all just took word of mouth from it because y'all didn't like Nick from the pods. And Hannah, congratulations. Give yourself a 5-second pause because you made Nick famous. You completed his goal list. So be happy. You checked off. You made him the man of this show. Congratulations, Hannah. You did a good job.
Damn. I didn't even know that Merissa was still sleeping, but I must have missed that part. I was watching at 1.5 speed. That's why. Crazy stuff. Okay. Wow. Moondust Angel. Welcome.
Hi,
good to have you. How you doing? You're right. It's good to have you. I always see you in the chat, so it's good to have you on here.
I definitely found the reunion eventful. I I got very annoyed with Hannah because that's actually my name and I do not like it. She was horrible. Oh my god. And why is everybody getting so hung up about whether he thought she was attractive or not? That doesn't excuse her vile behavior. I'm confused about this. It doesn't matter. Her behavior was ugly, and so she was ugly for that reason. I'm very confused. Also, I'm not necessarily a black person, but I'm a person of mixed race myself, and I don't understand why Merissa was fighting for Hannah when Hannah was not doing the same for her. That was very awkward to watch. I didn't like that, and it made me feel weird. She can fight for Hannah, but not for herself? That looked weak to me. I don't understand. Like, it's just weird.
I appreciate Moon Dust. Hey, listen, I hear it. AD and Merissa did this last year. Last year, AD did the same thing. Merissa did the same thing this year. AD did it again this year by backing Hannah again, saying period. So yeah, there seems to be something with that. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's something with that. I think there's something else with that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. What about obviously the fact that we know that now Ashley and Tyler now, we now know that Ashley and Tyler, their situation, Ashley told us to mind our whole damn business. Ashley told us that, listen, she done Tyler's leg and said, baby, I got this. She said, listen, I want to let you know that Tyler is a responsible guy, okay? And, you know, the situation is he was helping out a friend, okay? And that's how we gonna keep it. Okay, so I want to know what you guys thought. So, okay, wait, actually, Trey coming on. Trey, before I kick off that Ashley and Tyler situation, what's your thoughts on the Hannah situation first, and then I'll go to Ashley and Tyler. I know you just dropped in.
Good evening, y'all. Good evening. Listen. Oh my God, listen. I can't stand her. I can't. It bothers me. It just listen. Coming into this, I quickly realized, and they kind of do this every year, every reunion, especially for this particular show. There was a concerted effort to attack all men. And I hate talking like this because, you know, I go hard on the men myself. I will go hard on the men myself. But there was a concerted effort to attack all men and pretend like some of these women were not complicit in these situations. Just bypass everything that they said or did, you know, or it was just, okay. But Hannah, the funny thing is, we saw this coming. This is not nothing new. We kind of saw how she acted this entire season. We kind of knew how this was going to happen, how this was going to happen on this reunion. But it was confusing to me because it was interesting how, if you notice, Nick at first was trying to keep things very PC. He was glowing her up. Hey, things didn't just work out. I like Hannah. I think she's a great person. And he was trying to leave it at that. But this chick wanted war. She wanted blood for some odd reason. And I still don't understand why. And they almost kind of got into it a little bit when they asked Hannah, you know, about her own insecurities. How do you see yourself? And you notice she did a strange pause there. It was very strange. And it kind of let me think, well, wait a minute, Hannah, how do you see yourself? Like, I don't think she likes herself. Like, genuinely, I don't think she likes herself at all. But she almost can't help herself with the way she's acting. Very strange. And yeah, Merissa, the more and more this season has gone on, the less and less I like Merissa. It is kind of sad. I was trying to feel bad for her in some instances, but it was just, listen, I agree. RAMSES issues, bro. Issues, but he was not honest. Kojo, you said it earlier. We know what the real was. a lot of this really didn't start happening until after he met her mother. It was some issues beforehand. It was a few things here and there. He was saying some weird stuff. He probably saw some things like, I don't know, something give me pause. But after he met her mother and he saw where this road could lead, he's like, you know what? This ain't it. This is not it. And he went for an exit strategy, which is his mistake. He should have been just straight up like, you know what? I know this is going to sound crazy. You ain't going to like this. But nah, I don't like your mom. She's been threatening me since day one. And I'm sorry. I see some of your mother within you. And I don't want nothing to do with that. I got to go. I got to leave. Okay? I wish you the best. Hey, if you want to call him back, we can still hook up. Obviously, y'all were. Obviously, y'all were. And you're right, Jay. I caught that too. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, she did more than just spin the block. He let her come in for a second. He just said no to the relationship. But nah, them cheeks, them walls, yeah, girl, come on. But nobody was supposed to know that. That was crazy. But you want to follow up behind Hannah? And Hannah's the type of person, she would never protect you. She would demand that you stand up for her, but she won't stand up for you when it matters most. And Merissa just can't see it. It's sad. It was so weird. But yeah, I'm taking it. I'm sorry. Please, Coach, just take over. Continue.
No, I appreciate you, bro. No even problems. Thank you. It was a good take. All right, let's talk about obviously Ashley and Tyler, because their situation, fugazi, bro. Fugazi. Ashley told us to mind our goddamn business. She said, listen, I want to hear it. Do you think I'm a fool? I know what I'm doing. He told me the full truth, and I was like, baby, the fact you can say that confidently when the information's come out only now, because the reunion happened then. So I don't know if maybe she doesn't know all the truth. I have to be fair. Maybe she does know all the truth, and we have to be fair with that. Okay, that aspect that she may know all the truth, but Ashley really was helping her out. In fact, I'll play a little bit of a clip so you can actually see it. And then we'll get you guys talking about that quickly as well. All right, because baby, Ashley done let us know. Okay, she gonna let us stand by her man.
Art, and like you said, the foundation that we have is so deep and beautiful, and we learned a lot of different things along the way, like dropping pride and dropping arguments, picking and choosing your battles, things like that. But I definitely just love the skill.
Whew, baby. My oh my. Okay. Want to get your thoughts on Ashley and Tyler, Jay. What's your thoughts on this Ashley and Tyler situation, man? She said she's gonna step beside him.
She grown. Do you, boo? Do you? Listen, I told y'all, if he came and said that he told her all the information and she got all the information, she made her solid choice. All I'm gonna do is pray for her and wish her well. That's all I can do. You got to live and you got to learn. That's all that you can really say about it or whatnot. It does sound like she does know a lot more than we would like to believe that she actually does know. And it sounds, by how he said that she stood by him through some of his days, sound like some of them court days, some of them days back and forth with Bree or whatever and stuff like that. Sounds like she might have been there through some of these situations of it all. I do hope and pray that he was really, really honest and not just stating that these are some donor babies as he put it on camera, and that he actually told her that he's somewhat had a relationship with Bree to even make the twins. So, she knows that he stepped in with Bree. And like I say, Bree is a little tricky one too. Bree, whatever she want to call herself, she's a little tricky one too. So it's a situation as she gonna believe her man over this woman, because in her eyes, the woman is gonna sound bitter anyway. Yeah, my stance is he fought to get in those kids' life. That's still my stance. So that's still where I hold the problem with him. And the problem to stream over to her if she is still being okay with him doing that and now like turning his back on those kids. Because again, from a person that comes from a single parent home, he should feel some type of way. Like he said, that's why he did it in the first place. He went into the house in the first place because he knew how it felt. Well, you're now abandoning the kids. That's still a problem in my book. But if it's not a problem for her, that's her man, that's her husband. Hey, touche, do you, boo. Enjoy.
My problem is that he is still lying. So we have him on the show, on this show, saying how he was helping out his lesbian friends when we've all seen the video where the kids call him dad, where he's wearing a dad, best dad in the world or whatever it is, t-shirt. It's not that he's hanging out at his friend's house, which is what he's saying. He lies by saying little truths to deceive. So his deception is saying, oh, I spend time at all my friends' homes with their kids. Yeah, but those are your kids. I think, I mean, I have to keep in mind that this was filmed ahead of what we all know, but it's like, I don't believe at all that she, for example, was privy to all of the legal documents that some of us have now seen. I don't know. I mean, perhaps she's as desperate as that, but I know very few women who would place themselves in a situation where they now have $30,000 or whatever it is hanging over their head, where they can't buy a house with the man that they love because of it. They can't have a joint bank account for fear that their money's going to get taken. I mean, it's not, I mean, it disgusted me to see those videos of them with their dog dressed up in matching pajamas with them. I felt that was almost like a dig at the situation with the kids. And I have no doubt it can be easy to obscure things to like, because they're messy. The situation with the grownups is messy. But the reality is there are 3 little kids there who haven't seen their dad in over a year. And it's their dad. We hear them voice, that's my dad. And he's abandoned them. I can't, if she knows all of that and she's okay with it, you know, I can't just, I'm sorry, I can't feel good about that. It makes her demonic in my mind. Like, you know, it's great to have my man, but you can't do that to kids. They didn't ask to be here. They're your responsibility emotionally, financially, and he's not taking care of any of that.
Can I say one thing too, though, to that? Financially, he could be there, but would not hold it, seeing his kids, not also just all solely on him. Now, I don't know the ins and out. He could just not choosingly not be seeing the kids, or Bree, whatever her name is, could be withholding these kids from him. We know women that do that and use them as pawns too, which is no better than in either situation. So like I say, these two together is a whole problem for parents. These kids need to be removed really and placed in some better care, but then foster care really ain't no better. So we just in a pickle right now. You know, we kind of in a pickle.
I agree with you that, I mean, I also thought the same thing. She could be keeping him from seeing them. That's totally there. But the thing out of his own mouth is he's still denying those kids. So what I would need to hear from Tyler is, I want to see those kids so bad, but she's been preventing me from seeing them, or something to that effect. But he's not even claiming his own children, although legally he has claimed them. He went to court to claim them, right? He's on their birth certificates. And even that dig about, oh, their birth certificates are out there. I think it's their mom that put their birth certificates out there. That's her right. I mean, we may argue that that shouldn't happen, but, you know, she was trying to prove something to us and put them out there. But he's acting as if somebody went and dug up their birth certificates and put it out there, when I think it's Bride that did that. So that's what I mean about he tells truths in order to deceive. And that's a very dangerous person.
I agree with you there.
Moondust, go for it.
Yeah, I thought the whole situation was really weird. Like you've said before that you're very good with like body language reading. I'm not, but I felt very awkward when she was speaking and she kept looking at him all the time. I got the impression from her that she was trying to get from him, is what I'm saying okay? If it's not, touch me in some way to let me know it's not okay. And I thought if you were really secure in what you're saying, you wouldn't need to do that and it wouldn't look so weird. I think her making the joke, because it's not a joke to me, but her making this joke that like he came on camera and he was saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure if the kids know what I look like," was really silly. Like, did you really think that was going to look good, like saying it was only a joke? Everybody who watched the show took that seriously. Why was he lying and saying, "Oh, the kids might know what I look like"? She was making a joke out of that. The kids did not ask to be here, and they're very innocent in all this. And he's so caught up in lying to everybody that he doesn't see it's the kids that miss out in the end. And I feel quite bad for the kids. As I said, they didn't ask to be here. And I couldn't be with somebody like that because if someone can lie about that, they can lie about anything. And I just couldn't trust that I would be able to trust somebody after that.
I hear it. Trey. Trey, talk to me.
I believe Moon Dust Angel said it all at the end there. I did catch that little body language between those two. They definitely came with a very well scripted and play by play action of how they were going to handle this. You know, I felt like they also knew the questions that was going to come up. They were prepped. It's going to come up. We got to prep for this. Let's just handle this now. I'm I am I still want to know exactly when this reunion was taped because it can't be too long ago.
About 3 weeks to a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, only 3 months ago.
Only 3 weeks to a month ago.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can give Ashley a tiny bit of grace in this, just a little bit. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But it was yeah, it's too much we can say about Tyler. He's already proven what he is. It's a liar. Just a liar. Bottom of the barrel. You can't even. Ugh. My only concern is what's going on with Ashley now, because it seemed like you went off of what he told you. It's been an entire year you dealing with whatever his situation going on and the baby mom and all of this. It's been a year. So you've seen something. You know, even with everything that's coming out now, I think within that whole year, you have to know something. That's the only thing that's throwing me off here. Like, oh, I hate to say it, but Ashley, what type of person are you now? And it's almost like we're beginning to see it. That's concerning, sad, but maybe that's why they belong together. We never know.
So for me, if it's so for me, one of the things too that's pretty upsetting is to see her mom there sitting there as part of her backup. Because I would want my mom to have some sense and have my back. I would not want my mom to be colluding with me in my delusion. And I mean, that was what was disturbing about the wedding episode with his mom there too, because his mom fully went, according to Bry, went to the hospital when the twins were born. And so how do they go from being your grandkids to being sperm donor babies? How do you go through a wedding knowing that the man has 3 children and not have them there? And so in the same way, I was thinking that when I looked at Ashley's mom, to be fair to her, she didn't look okay. She didn't look comfortable, but she was still there to support Ashley. And it's kind of like, and I don't know if that has to do with the nature of her relationship with her daughter in the same way that maybe we think that there's a shaky relationship with the dad, but it's like, I feel like as a mom, there's some hard truths that you have to be willing to speak to your child and some doubts that you need to be able to raise with them instead of sitting there basically, rubber stamping their behavior. So that upset me to see that.
Here's my only fix it for this whole situation and why Ashley could be standing by. If they are literally going to take legal action or currently in pursuit of legal action to get some custody of the kids, like joint custody or something of the kids, then by all means, Ashley, that's your man, stick by him, do whatever you want to do, and I have no qualms with it. However, if y'all gonna keep running with this thing as if it was just a donor, now the I just this is just frustrating to me because the fact that you know who your kids are out there, even I don't know, I just couldn't do it, and that's probably why I'm so biased in this part, because I know I've been asked to even have children for other people and give it away, and it's like I just really don't feel like I can carry this baby for 9 months and give it away. I'm just not that built like that. But I know men are a little bit different because y'all don't carry it and whatnot, and it might be a little bit easier for you. But for some men, I feel like have really hard trouble knowing that their seed is out there and they can't see their child, or they can't be with their child or whatever and stuff like that. I know there's some good men out there that really, because my daddy is one of them, made sure that he knew and we knew all my siblings and stuff like that. So it bothers me on the inside that you know your kids is there. You know these is your kids. You came from a broken home or whatever. And I'm not saying that you and Bree, whatever her name is, need to be together, but you made these babies and you spent time with them. It'd be so much different if you didn't spend the time with them, but you spent the time with them. So the only thing you could be doing at this part right now is literally fighting in court to get some type of custody, joint custody with her to, take care of these kids and fix everything else besides that. Outside of that, it's just like, bro, I don't know. I'm Ashley, a better woman than I ever be, because I just would not be able to stand by it. I really would not be able to stand by it. That'd be my only course. She was like, we can't stay married unless you fight to get these kids. I'm sorry. I don't know. They gonna have to just like literally come up and be up in court and tell us that they in court fighting for these kids for me to continue to root for them. And I really hate that, because they seem like a really good couple. They seem like they could be really good together. And we like to root for our Black people, but I hate that they just playing into the stigma of what we go through every day in our community already.
100%. But I also think, I think about her safety, to be honest with you, because this is a man who is deceptive. And so, what if he gets tired of her? What if he decides he wants her money? A person who's capable of leaving their 3 children with whom they're involved, they're an involved dad, leaving them is a person who's capable. I mean, I don't want to, all of this is alleged, but, hypothetically, a person like that can hurt their partner. A person like that can unalive their partner. Or they can cheat on them and bring disease to them, any one of those things. So while she's saying it's amazing and wonderful how great he is to be around, that's for now. I don't know how you can go to sleep in comfort, trusting that somebody who's, though I think she's still deluded, but once you realize that he's been lying consistently, and it's not hard to decipher, because we can tell if she were paying attention, she could tell. What is he capable of? What else is he capable of?
That's the frustrating thing about all of this. According to Ashley herself and him, she knows everything. I don't know how far we can take that. Is it the truth or whatever? Obviously, she knows something deeper than more, because even she acknowledged, yeah, when they came back on, when they finally filmed that conversation about the kids in the first place, the comment that he made that, I think they saw, I think they know what I look like. She obviously already knew that he was already a part of their lives. They just said that for whatever reason. They gave a very bad reason for that. But she said beforehand, yeah, I already knew that he was a part of their lives at one point in time. So I'm like, okay, what's really going on here then?
I don't believe it. When she spoke, I didn't believe her body language. I don't believe that. I think because if you go back to that scene, she was hopeful. It wasn't it was really it was part of that, and obviously editing is involved, but it was part of that almost montage where they were talking about their kids' names and like this kind of thing. And like she just she just wanted to know that, but it wasn't there wasn't any sense in that scene, any tension around that issue, like something they were trying to keep from the public or any of that. And I also didn't get truthfulness from her body language and the way she was speaking in this reunion. So I didn't believe that. I felt that that was the story they concocted for us, but I don't believe it. I think she learned when we learned.
I find Tyler so confusing as well because in the pods he painted this story of this really broken guy who came from a broken home and absolutely portrayed to me that he hated this experience. And I watched that at the start thinking like, oh, this poor guy, like he's come from a broken home. That's quite sad. But then you hear what he did to the kids and you're like, but how could you do that? Did you not learn from your own experience that you spoke about? That you came from this broken home? Like, why would you do this to kids? Like, he was so passionate about how bad his life had been, and it was really upsetting, and he got better. I mean, clearly he didn't get better if he's doing this to kids. Like, that was just tough to realize.
I would like to hear Kojo's take on this because it's the same story for Ashley as well, right? She also has had trauma in her childhood related to
Yeah.
her dad. And it's like both of them should know better. Both of them should be trying to prevent little kids from having to go through the same thing. So I
I
want to know
agree.
what Kojo thinks about all of that from a psychological perspective.
Hmm.
Well, man, that's yeah, that's tough. You know what? It's really it's weird, but I do understand it, right? That Ashley can do this. It's that Ashley can play a role where she would be dismissive of those kids, even though she's been through something very similar. Because what can happen is you can become very desensitized to the trauma that you've been through. And you feel like if I've been through it, you can get over it too. It actually happens a lot with people that have survived SA, that they can become very cold and callous to other people's essays because they've made it through. Like they brushed underneath the carpet, they didn't deal with it. They haven't actually processed it, and they've got on with life, and I'm better for it. And they can also say, well, they'll be okay. You know what I mean? Also, once you don't see those kids, also too, outside is out of mind. I can't be honest with you. And it can be easier at that moment not to mess up your fairy tale when he told you that they were all sperm donor kids. Well, if you want the fairy tale, you don't want to mess up the story, then you just got to keep the red rose tinted glasses on, which is don't ask too many questions and don't say too much, right? And what we're seeing is just what we are seeing from Ashley, just a grander scale of what happens to people on a more smaller scale, on a more micro scale, right? A micro scale is a situationship, right? So that's why I can really understand where she's coming from. It's like a situationship is that same thing. It is the ignorance, intentional ignorance of seeing that this relationship doesn't have the trimmings of what you need, but ignoring it because it gives you something what you need right now. Whether it a partner, somebody who cares about you for the time being, someone who likes you, someone you can love upon, you know, and so you can believe in that fairy tale. So I do understand, even though she's been through the same trauma, how she can go the complete opposite way and become numb about it. You know what I mean? Like, and just kind of leave it behind. I get it. I do. That's not to say it's right, just to say I can understand where she's coming from. Someone said, you can't sleep in peace. You'd be surprised what you can do when you are detached from something. You won't feel it. You know what I mean? You won't feel it. So she won't even look at it from that perspective. She won't even look at it from the kid's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, she'll just look at it from the perspective of, that's not me. You know what I mean? He told me they were sperm donors. I'm going to believe him. Okay. Even though the paperwork might not necessarily be there. Like he said, it's impromptu. But there was only one comment that kind of threw me off that she made that I said wasn't in alignment, which was the actual original reason why they came on camera, and he said that he never saw the kids. Now, she said that they discussed this beforehand. Well, if you discussed it beforehand, why would you come on camera asking him if he had seen the kids, and then he would still then lie about it? That makes no sense. That's incoherent. And that's when I realized they've concocted a story together. Now, whether it's him concocting a story and she's buying into it, or whether she's happily joining it like a ride or die Bonnie and Clyde situation, we don't really know yet, right? But that was definitely something that I felt was odd. But yeah, I know a lot of people thinking that she should understand where the kids are coming from. She ain't, because it's not her, right? Just like the kids in Africa are not you. You're not going to think about them, okay? Out of sight is out of mind. When they keep telling you they're going to raise that chocolate bar to $2 or $4 for your chocolate bar, you go and stress it out, right? Because you're not tied to the people back at home. And so we actually a lot of us do the same thing when we disassociate, because it is a part of life, part of it, where it's like, if it's not me, it's not me. So that's why I'm like, listen, at the same time, she has to own it too, because if it goes wrong, she has to be accountable. But at the same time, I really do understand when people are desensitized, which is why I understand where Tyler's come from. It seems wicked, it seems evil, but when you're disassociated, you don't connect the dots like normal people do. You know what I'm saying to you? You don't. Now, if they have their own kids and he does the same thing that he did to her, she will connect the dots. But so long as he's not doing it to her, she ain't gonna connect the dots.
And can we be honest? We see a lot of relationships that go down like that. As long as it's not happening to them, it's okay. They watch these people do all these crazy things. Now, me being a family-oriented person, I have been with men who have estranged relationships with their kids, and I encourage them to fix those relationships because I'm family-oriented. She may not be. So it might not be a problem to her. She may not care about none of that stuff, like you said, Kojo, because it doesn't matter either way. She's getting what she wants out the deal. She's getting her coffees every morning, and that's all that matters to her. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's morals are set up differently. So until it happens to her, she's not going to feel no type of way. So for right now, I ain't about to feel no type of way. She made her choice as a grown adult. Live with the consequences, however they may be, good or bad. Hey, Seaway.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
What's Gucci? I'll let you have the last word on this, Seaway, on the Ashley and Tyler, so I can move to the next couple. Go for it.
Disgusted.
Damn.
Disgusted and not surprised. Ashley has been clocked as a pick-me and a bop. And, I was saying to Sean, maybe I was saying to my friend Britt, I can't remember. But I was actually thinking that Ashley was so well liked. And so, people really liked her. They liked her energy. That if she would have really did the right thing, not just for the kids, but honestly for herself in the long run, she would have had her own show. She would have had her own situation. She really could have turned this in, not just for fame, but she really could have turned this into something. But the fact that she wants to lay down, with this man and stick with this situation, she's going to get everything that comes with him. And as a woman, I can tell you, I know that look that she had. She's holding on to his leg for dear life. She's trying to keep a solid front, but on the inside, her eyes looked empty and her spirit looked off. And so, they can say whatever, but I know that look. And that look is like, I'm with a man that I got to stick beside, but this ish is killing me. So I agree with you, Kojo, from what I did hear. I didn't hear everybody else. I just popped in. I do believe that he has disassociated and so has she. But, everything is going to come full circle. And so the fact that she has found a way to be okay with him not taking care of his kids and everything else that she alleges that she knows but more than us. Well, if she knows more than us about all this other stuff that he got going on and she's okay with it, you get everything that's coming back to you. And that's that's pretty much it. And people need to understand, just because you're pretty doesn't mean you're not a bop. She's a bop, she's a bird, and she's a pick-me. And she also seems to have very poor family foundation and a very poor moral compass. And all of that is a recipe for disaster. On top of the fact that her dad is a career criminal who didn't teach her anything. And that is also showing up in this situation which is why, you know, dads have to stay in your daughter's life, because now look. That's all I got.
A good dad.
All right.
A good dad.
All right. Let's move on to somebody's favorite topic. You know, people are taking 40 winks out here, taking little naps out here. Apparently they're in the club. You know, there's a situation that's brewing. Tim and Alex, let me play a little clip so you guys can remind what happened on the show as well, because it was hotly contested. By the way, Alex was looking sultry and sexy. God damn.
Hand being put over my mouth was put over my mouth. Yes, I was called something other than the name that I was given on this earth. I know the medium that I'm on. I know that I'm a 225, 6-foot black man. I don't want to get portrayed as this angry person to where we are fighting and squabbling it out on camera and understand.
The titties were tittying. I need everybody to kind of have a more
Now
Christian
he trying to
approach.
match the socks with the woman he don't want to see ever again. Okay,
Listen.
Sam Cooke.
And he tried to cover up them ankles this time, like that's gonna make him less sassy. I mean, I guess it did. It worked a little bit, but then the real Tim still stood up. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that man.
I don't mind him going back and forth, because you got to defend yourself when you out here getting putting the hand in mouth. You know what I'm saying?
And his hairline is starting to go. And the hairline's starting to go. He's trying to hold on.
That's how you know you ain't living
alone.
right. You ain't living right. Being that sassy gonna take your hair. And that's exactly what.
Nah, you lot are moving mad. Anyway, let's get the proper thoughts on what Tim and Alex's situation is. Let's get your thoughts on Tim and Alex leaving their looks alone, because we don't want to cause issues. What's your
Tim
thoughts?
said like he didn't want people to think he was angry, but he arrived looking angry, and nobody said anything to him at that point. He came in looking pissed off. And to be honest, I saw him and got annoyed myself. Because I was like, why are you so mad, bro? Chill. Nobody even opened their mouth yet, and you're already looking like the world is ending and no one cares, and you're like pissed off. It was really annoying to watch him.
I think he looked angry throughout the show. So that's his standard look to me. Though I think all of them came on there ready to fight anyway. I think those two are poorly matched, but I guess I agree that he checked out after Cabo, because, and I can see why. Like, if she put her hand over his mouth, she says now to keep him quiet so that production or the cameraman wouldn't come in and wouldn't try to film. But if she did that, and if she called him out his name, like he says that she did, I can see that being a really big problem for him. You know, respect is big for lots of people. So not to say he's an angel, but I understood that.
My biggest problem is that a lot of these men are really acting like biatches, but you have to just work really, really hard not to call them that. And believe me, I know. I would like to say it is a badge of honor not to call these men acting like biatches. And I have done a really good job. I really have. One, because I don't curse, so I think that's what helps me, because it has literally popped up in my head multiple times. With that being said, unfortunately, Tim was so triggered by that, because men are really big on respect. And I think I actually think that we're talking about the hand over mouth. I don't really feel like that's what he's mad about. I think he's actually really mad to this day that she called him a B, and that she said it again. And she said it again. That's what really ticked him off on this reunion, quiet as it's kept. It's because she said it again. And so I personally feel like, and I'm really trying not to be biased, but and maybe it's my experience in law enforcement as a prosecutor, I am looking objectively at people's ability to tell a cohesive story. And that always indicates whether you're lying or not. And that's how I knew that Babatunde was not lying, because his story was very cohesive. I do think he left a little parts out. We'll get to him later. But I could tell that he was being a little bit more honest, because his story was cohesive, versus Nick. You saw how his story was all over the place. He was lying. The thing with Alex is Alex's story makes sense from A to B to C to D, whatever. Tim's story, whatever, is all over the place. And I think it goes to him not being authentic. Jay, it goes to him not being authentic and it being a problem. So personally, I'm not saying that they were perfectly matched. I do think they were a mixed match, but I think Tim has some major issues. I really do.
I agree with you.
Also, I
I
don't
think
think he was overseeing the state of her apartment. Like, he
You
saw
said
how that looked, and I don't think he could get over that either. I think he was just like, this girl is a slob. She lives like a slob. She wants to sleep. And I'm over here in my corner being like a petty bee, and I'm gonna call her out for going to sleep. Like, he looked ridiculous. Nothing he said really made any sense.
yeah,
And like, it was too
because he's not
clear.
telling the truth. Like if he would have said,
Mm.
"Hey, you're a slob. You call me a bee. You don't do the dishes, and I just don't see it for you, sis."
But he did say
Okay.
the B thing. He told us in this reunion that that was the worst part for him. He said, "It's not that you put your hand over my mouth so much as that you call me that." That was the thing. And then
Right.
he also said, "And then you did it again in front of the cameras." So he was blunt about that. So for me, I think part of their mismatch is that they don't communicate well. So I believed her that she maybe felt some kind of way about her dad and wanted to be alone. But I also believed him that she might have left without saying anything to him or explaining that. And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the issues with them. They don't communicate well. So to her, maybe it was obvious that she needed her space, et cetera, et cetera. And to him, he was saying, I was trying to figure out why she was leaving, where she was going. And that's not to say that, I mean, personally, I think he might be a little bit more on the controlling side, but I also think she doesn't communicate.
Well,
If you don't
I
see
agree
of
with that.
certain things, they can't know them. I mean, you have to actually be able to articulate and express yourself to somebody. I'm feeling like this right now. I don't need anything from you. Actually, what I require is space. That would be the adult thing to do. Most adults do this, but neither of them could communicate properly. He wanted to help, but she didn't say to him, I need space, leave me alone. It sounds like she just freaked out and was like, back off.
I think the problem though with Tim is that although they both are equally poor communicators, I think we all can agree with that. I think Tim comes off as if he's better than her as far as communicating. He comes off as if he's like the superior one in the relationship, and I think that's what makes him a bit more off-putting for people. Because
Oh, definitely.
I don't think neither one are great communicators. I think both of them have issues. I just wish, and I think most people wish, that Tim would have just kind of cut it off based on the things that you guys have already listed before the dad was involved. And I that's just, I'm not saying that he was lying the whole time and he meant to do that to hurt her. I don't think that. But I do wish that they both had the wherewithal to not bring in parents into the whole situation. Because I think that's adding to the hurt and it's adding to the animosity.
Yes, I didn't like like the way he treated her father. Like, I thought that was so rough because her father was so ill, and like he really did speak very nicely to her father. But then to go and end it afterwards was so disrespectful. I couldn't kind of believe that I was actually watching that because I really did think he'd been so nice to the father. So I was so confused by his rash decision to leave and him being like a drama queen and storming out like, I never want to see you again, even though he knows he's going to see her in a couple of days. Like, that was wild.
I think that he expects, and I've experienced this before in relationships, he kind of expects exact one-to-one reciprocation. And it doesn't work that way in a lot of relationships, like, so, if I do this for your family, then I expect you to do the exact same thing. But when you're in a decent relationship, you give the other person some grace at times. So, like, maybe you've given them a back rub and then they expect a back rub right then and there, even though you've asked for it you've given one because they're tired, the other way around. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why you're doing something and you're doing it to help them, and you're not expecting immediate reciprocation. But he's expecting immediate reciprocation, and he's very rigid in his worldview. He's very rigid about how he thinks things should be. And she said that. I think part of the disconnect too with what you were saying, Seaway, is that he also he's more eloquent. He's better with his words, and I think that might be part of the communication issue on her end. She tends to clam up, and he talks a lot, but he's not necessarily listening when he's talking. So the talking sounds good, like it seems nice, some pretty words, but it's not getting them anywhere as a couple.
I'm not sure if his rigidness comes from him being in the army or not. It could. But everything he did seemed very like regimented, and he wanted her to reply a particular way in a particular time frame. And I think somebody said he put on Instagram or something that like when she replied, it was only one word answers. So like he was getting answers. He just wasn't getting them the way he wanted them. That's what he seemed to imply to people.
Okay, so we know they both bad communicators, but let's start at the beginning of it all. She walks away because something happens with her dad. He chases behind her. She doesn't really say what it is that is bothering her, but he clearly knows something is bothering her. This is still no reason for you to start raising your voice at her, especially in the early stage of getting to know somebody. If he's a person that wants you to treat him the way he treats you, and every time he wants his space, he expects you to give it to him, just give her space. Let her talk to you when she's ready. Now, I'm not saying that warrants her sitting here putting her hands in his face or wherever she says she put him, calling him out his name or whatever. But as a man, you don't need to be raising your voice at me when you're trying to figure out what is wrong with me. If I'm going through something, give me my space so I can sit here and tell you in a cool, calm manner. Just sit there and tell me, hey, babe, if you're really concerned, hey, babe, when you're ready to talk to me, I'm right here for you. That's all he had to do. But he wanted to force the issue. So now it turned into a whole argument. Okay? So now, hold on. So now we in a whole argument. I done called you out your name because you're acting like an unstable creature right now. Now you have a whole attitude behind that, and you're being vindictive at the end of the day. Y'all want to sit here and talk about her in the club. She sat there and told y'all exactly what happened. The day before was her meeting with her parents. That's the day he did all his extravagant stuff. He got up 8 o'clock in the morning, like he told us, went and made the barbecue, did all of this stuff like that. Now, I don't know how long barbecue take to grill. If he ain't smoking, it don't really take that long. But hey, he did all his work. Okay? They went out to dinner that night. She asked him, what's going on? He said he has doubts. The next day, she spent the time from 11 in the morning till 7 or something like that at the night with the parents. She said they spoke for 4 or 5 hours. She got to work at 9 to 3 a.m. 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. she sleep. To 10 a.m. she sleep. He mad that she didn't call to 10 a.m. Babe, why do I have to call? Where are you at? Why are we not even staying in the shared house together? We should be staying together anyway, right? So if you're so concerned, why are you not at the house with me? Why are we not in the same space? Why is his story always switching up and it's something else where it's all these days confused and together? And then when she corrected him, he went back, no, the day that we was with your dad, that's when you went out. No, we went to dinner. So where was I out? And me being out, what does that have to do with it? Exactly. And now you still have all this animosity for the person that broke up with me. Why are you so mad?
Sassy.
To this day, you still posting up everything to try to out this girl because you thought your grand exit was the one. You thought you ate in that moment and you didn't. So, like, you're mad because the audience is coming at you for the way that you did it when you were mad from Cabo. You should have just left it in Cabo. Now, if the contract didn't want you to leave it in Cabo, be mad at the producers and all this stuff like that. That's on them. But you sat in that girl's face knowing how important it was to her. And then later on that day, you tell her you doubt you want the girl. So what you want her to feel when she meets your parents? At least she honest and saying, I don't know if I really wanted to meet your parents. After you just told me you're not sure about me. So instead of being passive aggressive, just communicate that what it is, the problem that you had with this girl. Because see, what your passive aggressive did was get into a pressure cooker and you boiled over and all of this stuff exploded all over the place. And this is what we got at the end. Now you still mad as them red ass socks that you had on. And okay, let me stop because see, I'm about to say some stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Okay, reel it back in, Jay. Now you sitting here mad at this girl a whole year later. Still, you broke up with her. Make that make sense. Are you mad that you broke up with her or you had to break up with her? I don't even understand that part. But I'll let somebody else go.
Trey, you gonna cook?
I think people are complicated, and I think I understand why he's angry, and he broke up with her. And I don't. With this one, I used to be. I didn't like how I thought it was ugly the way that he broke up with her, and I was definitely against him for that, to be honest. But seeing them together in the same room fighting, it just brought up some of my other thoughts when they were together, that they're just poorly matched. That on his part, and he kind of voiced it, he doesn't seem like a man that's had a lot of experience with women. Like he said, the fight that they had was the first argument like that he had ever had, and he didn't know how to handle it. I think on this show, we end up getting some people that are immature, people that are inexperienced, and it doesn't go well. So, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't like how he ended it, but I also can't say that she didn't do her things. Like, I know I wouldn't, if the shoe were on the other foot, I don't think I would feel as good or as, like it's as innocuous that she put her hand over his mouth, or that she called him names and whatever.
And also, when they met, he trauma dumped on her about the whole thing about the sisters, and then saying like he'd be happy to give his parents another daughter. I found that exceptionally manipulative on his part, and I didn't like it at all.
I thought it was earnest, but messed up, which is so I don't think he was manipulating her. I think that's how he feels. I think he has not gotten over his sister's death, and he probably needs some therapy and a lot of work to do that. And until he does, he's probably going to approach things similarly with anyone he talks to.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, because I was like, you paused long enough. I'm jumping in, Trey.
Yeah, I'm like, Trey, go or forever hold your peace at this point.
No, my peace will not be held. But I am very particular on my words, and I don't like talking over people. I'm not going to pull a Tim. Okay, I would respect you, but hear me on this. I'm not a Tim fan. I am not. But I will say, because I can see others are not Tim fans, they tend to lean more on dumping on him than looking at the situation in its totality. Both of these, I'm going to be fair. Actually. I'm not going to go on the other side and try to balance it out. No, I'm just be fair about this. Both of these people had extreme issues from the moment we saw them in the pods. Both of them. The problem is Tim was so vocal, that we could see his first off from a mile away. Alex, I noticed, actually, she didn't really say much in the pods, did she? Yet the few things she did say was a little concerning to me.
Well,
Especially
let's recall, Trey, every time she tried, he cut her off, just like I
that's
did.
very true. That's very true. Very true. Yet the problem is that these are both two volatile thinking people, and you're going to try to put them together. It was never going to work in the first place. And the one thing I will say from day one, whatever happened in Cabo, it just been said multiple times. When Tim left that first time, he should have never came back. He got talked into coming back by production. We know this. He should have never came back. I wouldn't have come back. Wouldn't never see me again. You cross that line with me, it's fine. It's up. Whatever. Jay took most of my talking points when she explained how everything went from Cabo going forward. And Jay was correct in how she prescribed it. I can sympathize or empathize with Alice when she said she was worried about her dad. He just got admitted, for his condition, and she was feeling some type of way. Cool, I get that. The problem that no one has pointed out is that you kept that to yourself. You didn't let nobody know that, hey, I'm feeling some type of way right now. I just don't want to talk to anybody. She said this to us. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to go to the room, take a shower, relax. Understandable. You didn't tell no one that though. You kept that to yourself. You just looked off. You went to a corner looking all pissed off. So what if I'm Tim? Like him, I would have thought the same thing. What's going on with my wife? I need to find out. Let's not forget, everybody was drinking that evening as well. Everyone. So I can see a scenario where Tim is a little bit on 10, being a little loud, being a little belligerent, trying to find out what's going on with her. Was it handled correctly? No, it was not. But I can understand the situation and see how it all escalated. He went to go check on her. She wasn't being responsive. He kept pushing. He probably should have just walked away from the situation and maybe she'll come around. But then what will we be saying? Oh, you didn't pay attention to your wife enough. You didn't care about her. That could have been the other side of this, but we're not going to go there. One thing led to another. She tried. I'm going to take her at her word and say, hey, I didn't want to. Well, Tim said it. I think she kind of agreed with this point that they didn't want to cause a scene and have it put on camera. These two people I find very interesting. They agree with it as much as they seem like they disagree. They agree on a lot of things with one another, especially how things are presented. It's very weird. But because she didn't want to get put on camera either, she probably covered his mouth. Try to keep him quiet because producers was right outside the door trying to, hey, what's going on? Do we need to get this on camera? They didn't want that on camera. But then she took it a step further when he didn't stop and called him out of his name. Yeah, that's strike 2 for me too. I'm out. That's strike 2. You're already showing a lack of respect for me. And yes, respect is a big thing for a lot of men out here and a lot of people. You done crossed the line twice. And like I said before, Tim should have bounced. But he didn't. He got talked me back into coming. And I do believe he held it against her from then on out. That's where a lot of his doubts kept coming into coming. Because it didn't get better. Everything that she presented afterwards, it did not look good to him. The whole thing with the father. Oh, I'm of two minds of it. Yes, I agree with everyone. I did not like the fact that he made that big production in front of her father, shook his hand, read that letter. He came off great, and everything seemed good. And then the next day they break up. But I had to look at it a little bit on the nuance tip. What else was he supposed to do in that moment? God's honest truth. What else was he supposed to do? She made it a big deal about meeting her father. He had to come off right. And then don't forget, and maybe for good reason, her father did not know the true situation, what was going on with them. Everybody was lying to her father. Everybody else knew that they were already engaged, this and that and third. They were lying to her father to protect him or however it was. That's their business. But just keep it, they were lying to him and made him complicit in the lie. He's like, you know what? I'm with you. Fine. I'll step up. Show out. Do what you're supposed to do. Everything went well. It was all grand and dandy. Now, here's what my issue is, problem is. I think, is it pronounced Hannah? I do agree with you. Tim probably does like reciprocity. You know, he likes reciprocal nature. If I give out this energy, I want it back. To a certain extent, I understand that, and I can see how problematic it can be. But in these particular situations, you really don't have the time, or nor are you warranted grace. We just get to know each other. It's only been 3 weeks by this point, and we got to decide whether or not we're going to be together. So you asked me to step up for your family and show out, which he did. Yes, I want the same in return. Yes, it's going to come off, even to me, it will come off a certain type of way. If I step up for you and your family and you can't show that same energy in return, it's a problem. It's going to look a certain type of way, regardless of what's going on. And if it's true, you know, she had to work, I get, hey, I get it. I probably wouldn't have tripped like Tim had about her taking this nap, but I still would have stuck with my parents drove 10 hours to come up and see you. If you got us, and mind you, let's say this is 3-week relationship, supposed to get married. If we got to spend all day talking, I would have, if I had to spend all day talking to your family, you know what I'm saying, to go over or to make them feel comfortable with me, I would do that for you.
Now, Trey, can I interject one thing? The parents was coming regardless. He said it in the pods. They was bringing his car and his dog to him, so the parents was coming regardless. So the 10-hour drive wasn't necessarily just.
Doesn't matter. It's 10 hours. They're coming regardless. Either way, they're coming to see you.
It matters.
They're coming to see you.
And she spent 4 hours with him. Okay. She don't have to spend her whole life with him. She got her whole life to spend with him after they marry.
I disagree. Like,
disagree with that fully.
Definitely disagree.
Disagree. Like, if someone is coming, like, I probably would have stayed awake, even if I have to work that night. Just because it's really important how the person's parents see you and how you show out for them. So even if you've already spent 4 hours with them, and then I suspect she did what she did in Cabo and didn't explain where she was going and just left. So That's the thing. For me, she acts like a single person all the time.
Exactly.
Didn't he already say he had doubts?
Yes,
he should have doubts.
You know what I'm saying?
Didn't he already
have them?
No, I'm talking about before.
No.
I'm talking
about
before, after, it doesn't matter. He should have doubts.
Yes.
You cannot sit here and pretend that Alice was not moving in a way for you to doubt her.
Yes.
You cannot sit here and pretend that. We ain't gonna do this.
She took a job.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back on you because
y'all are jumping off the bridge though. I just asked.
No.
Nah, I ain't
my thing
I'm sitting in my car watching y'all go crazy. No, he should have doubts. Y'all like he shouldn't. That's crazy.
I didn't say whether he should or shouldn't. I just wanted an answer to my one question.
Now you didn't
no. Hi everybody. I just wanted to say.
So y'all just gonna start talking and I answer my question. Okay, I got it. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Stop, Fields. PC, wait. Ask your question. I will answer it directly. What's the question?
All I wanted to know was before she fell asleep, didn't he already tell her that he had doubts? That's all I wanted to know.
Yes.
Okay.
He did the night before when they were supposedly at dinner.
Okay, so she was supposed to miss sleep for a man that got doubts?
So I think my issue with Alex is Alex said she got this job that she only did one night, the night his parents came into town. Hey, yo, what? Yo, that is crazy.
If you bartend like I do, yes, you will have a job that's for one gig day only, okay?
No, not the night his parents are coming into town. Yo, and she only did it that one night. Clearly, she didn't need the job, yo. Alex lost me with that one. Do I think Tim was perfect? No. But you saying, you guys won't believe it. I only bartended that one night. So you took a job the night his parents came into town? Hey, yo, that is wild. That is mad disrespectful. He went all out for her parents. And the other thing that none of the women had any accountability on this reunion. None of them. And they're all trying to sit back and take up for each other and make all the dudes seem like they were wrong. What is going on here? That is crazy. Hannah don't have to have accountability. Everybody can talk about Nick's looks, but as soon as he talks about Hannah's looks, he's the bad guy. At least he had enough class and dignity not to do it on camera.
You're making cheesy grits over here.
Hey, yo.
Phil gonna come in late with all our stuff already. Don't try this, Phil, okay?
But back to Alex. Hey, yo, she called that man the B word. If he had called her the B word after a disagreement, would he not have been wrong? If she was having issues and she felt some way about her dad or whatever, he don't know what's going on. I don't know if you having a mental health breakdown or what. I'm trying to be there for you. What, I'm supposed to leave you crying? And why you leave your father anyway, yo? And y'all want to talk about Nick looking for fame, but you, one, quit her job, one, leave her sick father when he go into a rehab, but Nick looking for fame? Hey, yo, get out of here. No. These chicks are crazy. They are crazy and they lack accountability. Nah, Tim was not perfect. But Alex, you just so happened to start a job the night his parents come into town that you only do for that one night. Get out of here. And you've never bartended before, so this the night you want to bartend. For real? Come on now. For real? Get out of here, yo.
I think she said that was her first time.
It was her first time bartending.
Not her last time. It wasn't her last time, but I think
no, she said she only did it for that one night.
I thought she said that was her first time.
To get away from Tim.
So she didn't want to be with Tim either. So don't sit up here and say you
that's
did
why
all.
she don't have no vitriol for him. He the only one still carrying on in the comments, in the chats, and the text messages, and all this stuff right now.
Because y'all only making it about Tim and not Alex.
You ain't gonna drag my name by myself. No, you better
Yes. No,
you better
it's not a two-way.
none of us at all.
Ain't nobody. So okay, I'm about to have a misogynist moment. C-Way, don't kill me. Jay, don't kill me. None of the ladies kill me. Sean, don't kill me in the chat, yo.
Tim away, buddy. Tim away.
Go ahead.
I know that, brothers, we have issues that we need to work on. But when we're looking at these situations in these shows, we got to start holding these women accountable for their bad behavior and choices too. Like, everybody has a role in this situation, and it's not just the men. Like, all of them tried to attack Ramses. Brittany, you shut up. You shut up because you got you some new boobs over there. You sit back and shut up because you was only looking for the cash.
Her boobs and fit. Well, I mean, can we not lump everything together because we haven't got to Nick. We haven't got to Nick and Hannah yet. And
I'm
sorry, I'm late. Excuse me.
Oh no, we done Nick and Hannah. We ain't going back. So that's on Saturday.
That's why I said he come in here late trying to say that we didn't get
That's on Saturday.
Hannah got all her smoke, baby.
I'm talking
Hannah
about
and Merissa.
If we're talking about the reunion, I didn't agree with them lambasting Nick on this reunion. And I also think that Hannah lacks accountability. And I also think that Merissa should have stayed in her lane instead of trying to jump in because she got a lot of stuff to worry about. So
her and her mama. Her mama needs to back up too. Looking stupid.
So nobody is saying that the women on the panel, even the women in the show, are not to be held accountable. I think we've tried to hold a lot of them accountable. I think the problem is with the Tims of the world is that y'all men wouldn't want to be a Tim, and the women in the comments wouldn't want to date a Tim. And I promise you, Tim gonna be single a lot longer than Alex will be. And I got an ex who act just like Tim, and that man still ain't found nobody. But on paper, you look like he happy, he look like he's straight, but he's not, because he's sensitive, he's sassy, and he does stuff like a woman. And a woman can't be with a woman unless she's choosing to be with a woman, and that's a different type of situation. So I mean, we can find a lot of sympathy for Tim, whatever y'all want to do, but I'm telling you,
whoa, this ain't sympathy. We already said we don't like Tim like that.
whatever it is, but a person like Tim is undateable.
See, Ray, that's not fair, because why is he undateable, but the girl with the messy house who ain't got no money, who got to work all these jobs that she just worked one job, how come she ain't undateable?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you why. Because Alex, can I answer that? Alex, if she finds a man that is a very masculine man, that's one of those people who likes to cook and don't mind that his girl don't cook and don't clean.
Not gonna happen.
No, there's people.
Yo, listen.
I disagree, just because her issue is the same as his, in that, like, perhaps he is voicing he has doubts. She's not capable of voicing that. So maybe that would be why she is going ahead and taking a job on the night when his parents come in, because she has doubts too. Or she doesn't like him in the same way that he doesn't like her, but she's not saying it.
Exactly. They both need help, guys. I've already said that they both need help. I'm just saying that Tim is top tier, undateable, in my opinion. As a man, I don't think that he's able to lead while he's leading in all of his emotions. He cannot even manage his emotions on that stage, let alone in real life.
Do you think she is marriageable?
Okay.
No, I'm just asking, do you think she's marriageable? Because like you said, he's not dateable.
No.
Is Alex marriageable?
No, Alex is not dateable.
No, she's not marriageable at all.
No, not at all.
Why are we creating words? We are creating words.
And I so did. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I just want to know, how did Tim lose his cool on that stage? He was trying to get his point across.
Because he's sassy. That's why. He always losing his cool. He's been. Did you listen to Jay's story? He's been losing his cool since the time in Cabo. He's always losing his cool.
I don't think Tim. Tim never lost his cool. That's not Tim's problem. Tim's problem is where she said that he thinks that he's always right. That makes him appear to be undateable. But if we go off reality, Tim can easily find a woman the older he gets, that if he's stable, has a career, home, and a lot of things to offer, he can get him a woman. And I don't think that'll be a good woman for him. I think he needs to get mental help, but he can find a woman. I feel like, I'm gonna give women props before I say this. I feel like, because y'all can take more than a guy. You cheat on a guy, he's gone and broken. A woman can stay with a man and cheat on her. A guy get the flu, he's gonna act like a crybaby. Women are stronger than men so much. I think that when y'all say harsh words, y'all brush it off like that's not a big deal. You don't tell a man in your first ever argument when y'all done fell in love, you don't call him, he acting like a little B word. Like, if you're doing that on the first argument, and I'm thinking about marrying you in 10 weeks, like, just imagine what's gonna happen as we all do in relationships. We go through these big problems that we have. She said that on the first argument, and I think all women downplay that and don't know how huge that is to a man. A guy sees something like that, they're running away from the Alex. They're gonna run away from her. A lot of women gonna run away from Tim, but because it's better as a man get older, he is going to have options, even though I don't think he should be in a relationship. I think Jay was right that he always likes things perfect, but I'm curious why nobody has ever brought up the fact that she used doubt to be a certainty. Doubt is not a certainty. He had doubt. That means that he could not marry her or he could marry her. She gave him a certainty. Her certainty was, I'm not getting married without my father's approval. So you're on a show, you're only going to meet the parents once. He has to ask her father for approval, whether he has a doubt or not. Because if he has a doubt and that doubt turns into, I want to marry her, but I didn't ask her father, they not getting married. He had to ask. Now, me, I would have kicked it to a father like, if things go according to plan, or I love your daughter and my intentions are great, and I do think Tim gets the rough end of the stick because I do think Tim's intentions were great. I just think his flaws are you got to be perfect to be with somebody like him, and he'll never find a woman like that. But he had to ask her father to marry him, and I think she gaslit Tim. Why are we spending all of this time talking about how late she worked? She did all of this on this show. She said it. She said it at the reunion. It wasn't all the way into the end. The real truth came out, and that I had these doubts, so I didn't know, or why would I want to meet your parents? Why did we waste all of this time? And people do that all the time in relationships. They throw all these things up, and you're trying to fight these things when the real reason hasn't come to fruition. The real reason is she had doubts. It don't matter how late she worked. It don't matter where she went. So when Tim's saying that you didn't give my parents the same respect, if it was because she had these doubts, she's admitting that's why I didn't give your parents the respect.
No, he had the doubts, not her.
Yeah.
She said he had the doubts. That's why she was mad.
He had the
doubts.
doubts.
No, we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. But we're saying the same thing.
Trey,
because he had the doubts. She was like, why would I want to go see your parents if you got these doubts? Doubts are normal. Doubts are going to come as you move closer to marriage, even if it wasn't on this show or not. Why is his doubts a death sentence? But she's saying, I will not marry you if you don't ask my father.
So here you go. He gave the same thing Ramsey gave. You gave certainty, and then all of a sudden you got doubts. When her certainty, based off of what you're saying, her certainty was, you got to talk to my dad and ask my dad. You read the whole letter to my dad, and some hours later, now you have doubts. That was a certainty. Now, hours later, you have doubts.
Why is that not a simple conversation? Like, if I'm in love and nothing can go wrong, she could never call me a little B like Alex did. Everything would be great. And why can't I come to my partner and go like, I don't know what happened, just I'll go like a little doubts kicking in, and we have just a normal conversation. Doubts are not a certainty. Doubts could easily.
Here we go.
But would they not have doubts?
No, hold on.
In the beginning of this, we all agree that their communication with each other is very poor, because when she went and ran off, she should have easily told him, hey, I'm feeling some type of way about my dad being in the hospital. I need my space. He could have easily gave her the space or whatever. Communication has been a bad thing for them. So in a normal relationship with people that communicate very well, that should be an easy conversation. You have doubts. Let's talk about these doubts that you're having. Why do you have these doubts? But for people that do not communicate well and stuck in their own agenda, this is going to be a bad situation. I have doubts. Well, what are the doubts? I don't know. I don't know what it is. We don't know what the whole conversation is that they had. They never seem to get around what are the doubts? Why do you have the doubts? It sounds like it was just, I got doubts, so now I have doubts. You got doubts, so now I got doubts, or whatever, stuff like that. The problem is you gave a certainty by, I told you, my certainty is you speak to my dad and get his permission to marry me. If you go and do this, and then some hours later, I'm gonna have to treat him just the same way as we treated RAMSES. You knew up until, and then you didn't tell her the truth on what it is. So she now has these doubts. So now you want to fault her for every little thing that she got going on. I'm not saying one of these people is perfect or anything like that. Neither one of them did the right thing and wanted to really be with each other because they would have had the proper conversation. But as the man, and she's following the man's lead, and y'all want us to follow y'all lead, you got to tell me what's going on. Why do you have the doubts all of a sudden?
I disagree with you to say that now he wants to fault her. And in that, you're giving Tim too much credit. Tim didn't just all of a sudden now want to fault her. I think Tim going to fault anybody because it's just a natural flaw that he has. He been faulting her. He probably faulted the woman before her and the woman before her. This is just how this is Tim's flaw.
This is you. You still not being honest though, because the honesty was, I'm still not over the fact what you did in Kabul. That's the real honesty. Now you're picking anything. The naps, you talked about the naps. She didn't spend time with the family and all this stuff. When the simple answer was, I'm still not over the fact that you called me out of my name in Kabul. That's
not that, but that's not true though. That they never said that on the reunion. He went back to reiterate that, like, y'all on this hand thing debating back and forth. I'm upset about the name you called me. He never said I have doubts still after talking to your father because of the name you call me. That's what you're saying, Jay.
No,
He
that's
never
what he
said that.
should have said because that's where it came from. That's what I'm
How do
saying.
you
He
know
never
that
gave
though?
it that because
But how do you know?
that's when all of the BS started. That's when all of this BS started. He checked out from Cabo. He can't sit there and say he didn't. That's his whole hang up is that he called her. He was called out his name in Cabo. He don't have nothing else solid to stand on. Naps, not spending.
No,
I think that what you're saying is
the
plausible,
apartment.
but it's not. It's not true. It's plausible, like,
Not the apartment.
but it's
The
not
apartment.
confirmed that was it.
Because the apartment is like how you going to be living.
So I just wanted to say this one last thing. If anybody is not having doubts in this situation, they're crazy. All of these people are like real life strangers. So just because I have doubts, it doesn't mean I don't want to do this. I'm just thinking about this in totality. So if she's saying she didn't have doubts about Tim and he didn't have doubts about Ashley, like that's wild. Just because I have a doubt, that's an opening for us to have communication, to work through something. That part we may not know. But just because he had a doubt after he spoke to her father, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means that something inside of me, a thought came to my head, and I just need some type of clarity or reassurance or an answer. So a doubt isn't like, the worst thing in the world, especially when I'm marrying a stranger.
And how can you bring up Ramses? That's the exact opposite. Ramses had these doubts. He never said it. And that's how he broke Marissa's heart. Tim is telling her. Tim is straight up telling her the doubts. And now that's an issue that caused you to not show his parents the same respect. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about her schedule. I don't care how busy she was because throw that all out the window. She only got passionate when she said, why would I want to meet your parents when you have a doubt? That's the real answer.
Okay,
Well,
so wait. We're gonna move it to Merissa and to Ramses to end off. You've got 20 minutes to end this because boy, I need to shower. I'm tired. Okay, so we're gonna give you guys 20 minutes to discuss this. Marissa,
already. My bad.
We talked so hard about him in the beginning. I know.
I can yield my speech on Ramses and Marissa. I ain't got nothing else for him. I don't know what else you can say about him.
I can go first.
Okay. Okay. So Phil, if you want to go first, we're gonna try and keep it. 20 minutes. I'm gonna give you guys 20 minutes. Yeah, I definitely am. So by the time we get to 2:30, we're done. All right, cool. So Phil, go for it, and then I'll let you guys know who's next if you want to go.
Marissa was absolutely beautiful on this reunion. She was fine. Marissa looked good, like real good. Okay, now that I got the pleasantries out the way, hey yo, Marissa, pipe down. You was just out here begging this man to take you back. Now you got all this smoke because you around your homegirls? Like, get out of here. Just because you weren't honest with who you really were and you're not showing your genuine self, and this man changed his mind, and like, I'm glad he did it before she got down the aisle. But like, don't sit up in here and act like you didn't make mistakes in this relationship either. And your mother really needs to pipe down, because the reason why you don't know how to model good relationships with men, because your mother didn't show you. So while she want to try to take somebody balls off, she needs to get in therapy and heal herself. Because that negative energy she's carrying around is going to rub off on you. Maybe, Marissa, your energy may be too much for dudes at some times. I don't really think that's the case. I think, Marissa, you just give off too much yeah and yeah and yeah and yeah in the beginning. And then once you get comfortable, you show who you really are. So how about we try to use some honesty, Marissa? And you kind of pipe down and you just be who you really are, because you're a beautiful girl. You got a lot going on for you. But you kind of need to slow your roll. Choose yourself, Marissa. Marriage is supposed to enhance your life, not be a completion. Work on loving yourself. I see some self-esteem issues with Marissa. But she did look very, very baddie. Marissa has really become a baddie, yo. Baddie. Okay, I'm done.
I feel they both have really bad communication skills. Like when it comes to speaking to one another, I think they're both bad. She was telling him in the apartment, I don't want sex, leave me alone. But then when she was in the car on the way home from work, she was sending him naughty pictures. And he mentioned this. And it's like, why are you doing that if you don't want him? You're confusing and it's ridiculous. And at the reunion, even her mom looked shocked when she was like, oh, and I was still sleeping with Ramses after he left me. Her mom did not expect her to say that. And you can tell they had words on the car on the way home. Her mom was going to kick her ass. Why did you say that on national TV? Now people are going to know you did this. This whole thing was mad. Like, they should have not been together because they couldn't communicate properly with one another. They both, it seemed to me at least, misunderstood each other completely. And they both got everything wrong, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think again, they were mismatched and there were so many red flags as to why they shouldn't have been together. So many red flags. On her part, I think she tried to make him something that he wasn't or thought he was something that he wasn't. And it was plain to us looking on that he wasn't those things. I don't think I get what you're saying about the sex, and I think the sex was the one thing that they actually could do well together, so they kept falling back on it. And I think we all have known people, at least I have, who go and sleep with their ex again. It's easy, it's familiar, whatever. And I don't know what she intended by that. I don't necessarily assume she was trying to get back with him when she was sleeping with him closest to the reunion, but I feel like it's the one place where they actually were able to connect because they, like you said, they can't communicate well otherwise.
It was confusing for me because she was all over him like a rash in Mexico, and the girls had to say to her, hey, leave Ramses alone for just a moment to come with us. You can go back to Ramses. And I felt personally, when they came back to DC, she completely changed who she was, going from being all over him to not being all over him. And then I don't feel she explained herself very well. I think
She has an
myself,
autoimmune disease. She was on her cycle, right? Like she told us plainly and him plainly. She has PMS. She has a vitamin D deficiency. She apparently has rheumatoid arthritis, right? Though, and she told him twice in that little snippet, like, I'm sick. And she told him, I'm touched out. Like, those things make sense. The problem is it's such a condensed time period that it's hard to, like, it's not even a full, I don't think it's a full month even. So like when they were, it seemed like when they were in Cabo, she would have been ovulating. So that's another reason she might have been ready to jump him. And then when she got back home, she was dealing with PMS and with her period. So to me, that made sense. But
I might have misread the situation, but I got the impression that Ramses is a very like physical touch kind of person. And I got the impression that he wanted kisses and cuddles from her, but he sucked at explaining himself. And it's like, well, why don't you just say that that's what you're looking for? I don't think he was all the time looking for sex, but he failed to tell her this. And so, because he couldn't explain himself properly, that is how it came across. And it would have been rather simple for him to just say, look, I just want to be able to hold you. When is it okay to do this, and when is it not? I don't want to do the wrong thing. You have to tell me when it's okay to touch you and when it's okay not to. Some
But she
people
but she
can't
did
handle
tell him
physical
that
touch.
she told him she wasn't up for touching and he still touched her anyway. That to me was a boundary that he went over that I didn't appreciate because she told him I just am not feeling like being touched. And he kept asking and asking until she was like, okay. In the scene when they were in the kitchen, and he kept hugging on her, and she even went in the bathroom for a while, and then he just kept asking, can I touch you? And he was repeatedly asking, which to me it's like, if you need to ask that many times, the answer is probably no, but maybe the person will allow it because you keep asking. So I was frustrated by that.
But can someone explain to me why, when he was asking that question, why she then came to him and went to hug him on her own? Because he actually stepped back and then she came to hug him. And I was very confused by this. Because if I don't want someone to touch me, I'm not going to then go and hug them. Exactly what kind of message am I trying to give? That's
I've
also
been in
confusing.
that situation myself. So the thing about the hugs though is like even if you are not feeling like you want to hug somebody or that is not your love language, for a lot of people that's the resolution to an argument that you've had. It makes it okay for them to give them a hug. So I took it as that as opposed to starting something. I took it as ending something on a good note.
I just feel that's going to add more confusion though, because if I want to hug somebody and they don't want to hug me, but then suddenly I'm hugging them, they're going to be very confused about what kind of message I'm trying to give. Do I want it or do I not want it? And if I don't want it, I should stand 10 toes down and say, this is not for me. To be honest, it's never going to be for me. I only want the sex if I want sex. I don't want you to touch me. Go away. And because he asked her when she was in the bathroom, are you still okay? He asked her that because he was insecure. He thought he felt rejected in that moment and he thought she was running from him. And because
But you,
she
you
didn't
just answered
communicate
the
well, it
question
came
though.
across that way.
Have you never been in a situation with a guy where when you put them off for whatever reason, you don't want to be touched, you're not feeling sexy, they feel some kind of way about that. They feel very rejected by it. And so like when you're not meaning to cause a big problem in your relationship, you're not trying to break up with them, you're not trying to make them go away forever. You maybe just want a little space. So in that situation, I have given a hug. I have touched, even though I wasn't in the mood for that. I've even acquiesced and had sex because that's what that person seemed to need to feel not rejected, to feel closeness, and to be reassured. Like it wasn't what I especially wanted, but there it is.
And how did doing that make you feel? I'm just curious.
I mean, it's in the course of a much longer relationship, a pretty good relationship. So for me, it was like any other thing that I might be doing in a relationship that I don't especially want to do at that point. Like, I don't know, they're asking me to get something that I don't want to get or whatever.
And also, like, aside from that, but I also think they kept kind of trying to have this conversation about contraception, and it kept going nowhere. And they kept putting it on the back burner. That's what it felt like to me. And it was never getting addressed. And both of them seemed to at least both be getting very annoyed that it wasn't being addressed. And it's
I
like,
just
but there are many things that can be discussed. Like, I know, for example, in the UK and Ireland, they have something called a feminine condom. She could have used that, I'm just saying. It's like they didn't know that or something. I don't know if that's in America or not, but there are other options. They didn't seem
I,
to know of any, though.
I disagree with that because normally we get one side. Both parties at the reunion said that they had a conversation about contraceptives. It wasn't is how they played it out on there, and they both found a method that works for them, and they both agreed. What I'm learning about this reunion is like, other than it's not fair for men, the guys gonna have their bromance, and the girls gonna be have their little girl group, and they're gonna be friends. But guys tend to not like conflict, so they don't jump on the women on the panel, but the women will come together and they will jump on the men. Other than Steven, who blatantly cheated, for any scenario you can name for the man, I can name for the woman. We're on Ramsey's hardcore because he knew he wasn't, he had these serious doubts about Merissa, and we're on him hard because he never said it. You guys just had an entire conversation about Merissa not feeling a certain way and not saying it to Ramsey's. Like, is crazy. And then what's scarier is we literally just left Tim's situation where he did have doubts and he did say it. So it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And if you go on this show and we're in season 7 and you know how it looked on previous seasons, I don't want to look like the jerk. I don't want to like the a-hole. You hold that and you hold it and you get to the end and it explodes in your face. And now you become who you hate. I didn't get the sense from Ramses tonight that he's some cold person that didn't care. I got the sense from Ramses that he feels like he's an F up, that no matter what he does, he keeps destroying women. He's hurt about destroying his ex. He hurt about making a woman appear to be the most emotional breakup in Love is Blind history. And those are things that he got to figure out. But in the meantime, he's painted as this extremely hardcore villain when a lot of us have held things in our 20s, and you guys must agree because you're all making excuses for why Marissa held her stuff in.
Oh, I think Marissa needs to absolutely be held accountable. Why are you gonna get that sad and then go back to him after 6 months? That's outrageous conduct as far as I'm concerned. And to admit that you did that is ridiculous. Like, did no one explain to her, like, do you realize how you're going to look if you say this? Because she ended up looking completely demented. You don't do this whole R&B music video kind of crying on the floor like a lunatic after he leaves you and then go back like 6 months later. Exactly what kind of image are you trying to portray about yourself? What do you want people to think about you? I'm devastated this guy left, but then like 6 months later, I'm gonna go back. And from what I heard online, I don't know if it's true, but like Ramses was kind of into doing the deed with her at that time. He didn't actually want a relationship, but I think he was down to bang. That's also weird. But why was she going back to him like that? That was very strange.
Good
I don't
D.
know why you say it's weird because I
The
mean,
D.
again, I know I've been in situations where I've gone back to someone who I didn't intend to have a relationship with, who was an ex. It was easy to have sex with them. The sex was good before, it was very easy to slide into it again. And it didn't affect anything in a big way. In her case, she said it on international TV. So we've all seen it. It doesn't make her look great, but it's also not uncommon.
I just think if Ramses is as bad as she was kind of trying to say he was, then why would she go back to him? If I'm thinking that somebody is that bad, I'm not returning to them. And then her saying to the girls on the couch, like, oh, I really hate this man. Like, you're going to say you really hate this man, but you still went back to him. So you kind of hated him all that much. You're just
In
showing
what
off.
regard? If she could have gone back to him for sex only. That's one. But I also think that, to be honest, and this is where Marissa, I wouldn't use the word accountability, but I think Marissa needs to do work on herself. Is that I think it's probably the best relationship she's had. We heard from her siblings and her mom that she's used to dealing with very, very trash men. So, whatever people have to say about Ramses, he's better than the men she's dated in the past. So she's maybe trying to make something of it.
Which really doesn't say much about her choice.
Let
If
me
he's
help you
better than who
understand
she
this part,
chose,
though,
she
Amanda.
needs to
Hold
choose
on.
better.
Let me help you understand this part. You're conflating her going back some months ago with how she feels now. She hates him now because he wouldn't take her back. That's a whole different thing. It's easy to sit up on this stage now, tell a person that you hate them, but you was begging to be back with him some months ago. So that's not hard to understand. She hates the man because he refused to change his opinion, though he was still sleeping with her. She was hoping that still sleeping with them, they can fix whatever it was. But when the man has already told her love is not enough, she should have known sex wasn't enough either. Because
Wasn't
that's what
sex
he was
their whole
actually was
problem
saying.
anyway?
Huh?
Wasn't sex their whole problem anyway?
No, sex was never their problem. Everything else was their problem.
Sex was easy for them.
Sex
I
was
agree with
confusing
that.
their problems. Sex was in the way. They jumped in early and stuff and was happy about it. She was happy to tell us that the sex was great. That was the problem. It was confusing everything else. This woman sat on on the platform and told this man that she was willing to sit in an unhappy relationship for 5 years. Is this in the beginning, first 5 years, or is this like we've been married for 50 years and 5 of it might have been bad? Like, which 5 years are you referring to? Because that's crazy to me. I'm not starting 5 years off of a bad marriage, hoping that it's going to be good. He did her a service that we all agree on this part by exiting out of the situation, but she was going to sit here and lie to herself to prove either her mom or whoever else wrong on why she should be with this man. Jump in, see.
I was just gonna say, Jay, everything you said, and the only thing I'm gonna add is that if Marissa keeps up this, she's just gonna find another Ramses or somebody worse than Ramses. And I think that's where she has to continue to work on herself, because trying to bargain with a man that has already told you that he doesn't want you by using your body or whatever type of techniques you were trying to use on top of your own, you know, wants of self-gratification. I'm sure that was part of it too. But that's where she's gonna F up. I mean, Ramses, we've already dug in on what his problem is, and we don't all agree on all parts, but I think we kind of spoke on that. But I was kind of sad to see her now that she's trying to be attorney. Unfortunately, she didn't pass the bar, but she's working on it. You know, to have that lack of couth and that lack of common sense to admit out loud on national TV that you allowed this man to play you once again, to me is showing a lack of judgment and a lack of common sense. And I think as long as she shows this level of simplicity in her thought process and her ability to be her ability to want to be loved so bad that she just take whatever and be a doormat, she's going to attract way worse than Ramses. If we think Ramses is a villain, it's going to get worse. So, that's what I have to say about that. So I think Merissa, unfortunately, is her own worst enemy. She doing herself worse than Ramses can ever do her with this type of thought process that she got. So
is Ramses really a villain if his biggest issue is he is not coming forward to say how he truly feels with his doubts? That's the biggest issue I saw with Ramses. Is he truly a villain? Steven was a villain. Seemed like they made up, but is he a villain?
Steven is not. I actually think Steven actually was more sincere than Ramses. I don't want to circle this drain on Ramses again because I feel like we done circled it, twerked on it, popped over around it. I just can't do it no more. All I can say is that the man was not sincere, in my opinion, at all at any point in this show. On top of not being sincere, he used Merissa as a cum bucket. And I said it last time, I'm gonna say it again. He got off what he needed to get off. He knew that she was desperate and was willing to go along with it. She was enjoying it, knowing good and well that he didn't want her. And a lot of the men on the panel don't want to admit it because y'all be doing it too.
Everything you said sounds great.
That is not why we ain't. That is not why we ain't admitting it. The same way you can understand how she can go back to an ex is the same way I can understand how he could also be in a place where he's not sure. The same way you're able to explain her behavior of going back to an ex and going, I can totally understand. Well, I can totally understand how he can also have doubts and not fully hear. No. You made it into a cum bucket. Hold on. You made it into a cum bucket, which you've made it into a very sinister thing that he's just using as a cum bucket. I don't like that because you're making it. And again, you can hold your opinion, which I'm not saying you have to change anything. I'm saying from our perspective, it's easy when you were able to understand how she went back to him. It was easy how you understood that she now knew how to be a sex pest again, right? Because that's what she did. She became a sex fiend and tried to win him over by sexing him all over again, right? And so it's easy to understand that point. But the moment that he has a doubt and he did not express the doubt, which is what Love Lens was saying, you're now telling us he used as a cum bucket, rather than trying to maybe have a more nuanced perspective of going, actually, the same way I can also see Marissa's faults, and I can also see where he's coming from. That actually, maybe he has some doubts. Maybe he was in it in the beginning and then realized, actually, I cannot do this. Right? So is she using him as a sex? Is she using him for sex only? Because she only went back there for sex.
Can I respond to that? What I said is the woman version of what I just said about Ramses. I wasn't trying to. What I said about Merissa is just as damning to Merissa as a woman as what I said about Ramses. I wasn't making excuses for her. I said that actually she was so low, so vulnerable, so sad, so desperate that she used her vagina to try to get him back, and it didn't work. I don't know how that's being understanding or kind. I think that is very bad as a woman. I don't think anything I said about Merissa is kind. It's actually very sad.
Listen to how you put the two together, and you'll know how that's different.
I'm confused. I'm literally confused.
You spoke about how she was low. So it's speaking about her mental aspect, right? But you didn't speak about him being low. You spoke about him using her as a cum bucket. It is completely different.
He's a very low.
Do you see what I'm saying to you?
I got you. He is a very low person. He's also floating on he's floating on a very low vibration. Okay. He's very low vibrational at that point. I don't know where he's at now. Maybe he's grown, but his low vibration is what allowed him to use another human being for their body and not for their soul. Now that's probably maybe because he was low.
You're still on the same wave track. You're still on the wave track.
Still are.
He used that.
Yeah, I think the worst thing about relationships is a lack of trust, not dealing with cheating, but the lack of trust in what your partner says, and it can come before the relationship even begins. When you say that the men on the panel probably is making excuses for Ramses because we do it and you don't know any of us, you left out so many nuances and things in between. Why can't the men on the panel? We dated somebody.
I don't know you, sir.
Yeah,
I don't know you.
Right, but you included me. I'm a man on the panel. That's cool, but I'm a man on the
you
panel.
just said I don't know any of y'all, and you're already wrong. So I had to stop you. You said I don't know any of y'all,
I can
and
stop
I do
the
know
semantics,
people.
but it won't stop my point. The semantics will not
It
stop
does
my
stop
point.
your point because you said I don't know what y'all doing.
Okay,
you don't know what
so
I
watch
know.
this. Watch this. You know who? All of them, and you don't know me, and you included me in that. So I'm not going to go on me and say the same point I was about to say.
Well, just take you out of it. I said some of the men on the men on the panel could be doing the same thing. You sound like a hit dog. All you got to do is say I ain't a part of it.
Yeah, you're
Then I would have
extremely
said,
emotional.
all right, sir.
Why you need to cut me off? Why you don't want me to say my point?
I'm just correcting you.
Why you need to?
Let's behave, guys. Let's behave. Let's behave. Let's behave.
Don't cut me off. I'm gonna say the same thing. Your emotions.
Let's behave, guys. Let's behave, guys. Let's behave. Let's behave.
Your emotions will not stop me from making a logical point.
You're just as emotional as I am. You're going back and forth with me.
You know, I
so you
understand
emotional
my point.
too.
Wait.
You
guys,
leave
on
off.
point. Let's keep on the point.
Don't make bland statements about a whole genre. A whole
okay,
gender.
then just tell me that, but don't call me emotional. You're going
but
back
that's
and
the
forth.
same thing I'm saying. I just said
What
it in
is
more
your
details.
point? I want to hear the
Ladies and
point.
gentlemen,
All right, thank
We
you.
can't hear the point because he's telling me what I don't know. He don't
Y'all
know what I
all projecting
I'm gonna leave
here.
because I don't want to get out of character.
Please, ladies and
I'ma leave,
gentlemen,
yeah.
we are all
I've been went off on
projecting.
this girl.
Go ahead and leave because
All
you're
right.
emotional yourself.
Hey.
Come on, guys.
Peace and love, peace and love. I just had a quick question that blew
It's just
my
the
mind.
over talking. It's just the over talking.
from my brother,
They don't want to hear you
Make
say
your
something
point,
logical.
Lovelens.
My
Make your
brother.
point, Lovelens. Make your point, Lovelens.
Please.
No, go ahead,
I just
Trey.
had
Make
a
your
quick
point.
question. I had a quick
Well, before you
question.
go, Trey.
Okay.
Lovelens finish his point, and then let him go. Lovelens, go for it.
If you really care about dialogue and learning, you wouldn't paint something with such a broad stroke to go to these extreme levels that multiple people look at somebody as a cum bucket because they have a different viewpoint than yourself.
Are you still
A lot of people. You cut me off. Why you
Because
want
you're
to cut
still
me off?
speaking on me. Speak on you. Don't speak on me.
No,
You
I
just
can
speak
speak on
on
whatever I
your
want
point.
to. I can speak on whatever. You're not my
Speaking on
mom.
me.
You're not my
You're
mom.
speaking
You're
on
not
me.
my
Let him finish the
mom.
point.
You're not my mom. You can't. Can you can't
Seaway,
dictate
let him
how I
finish
talk.
the point. Let him finish the point, Seaway.
He can finish his
I
point.
can't. If we're having a conversation, you're on the panel.
But you're
Let him finish
making
his point,
generalizations
Seaway.
about me. Don't speak on me.
No, I'm going
I don't
off
know you,
exactly
right?
what you
You
said.
don't know me, and I don't know
Seaway,
you.
let him
exactly.
finish the point, Seaway. Let him finish the point, Seaway. Let him finish the point. Go for it, Lovelens.
Yeah, if you care about details and you care about nuances and you want to try to learn the most as you can, there are so many different options in between these extreme viewpoints. How many people? We're not even talking about men or solely, just humans in general. In between that, you can be in a relationship. You can like somebody. You can see horrific things happening. You can have friends telling you you should pull out. You can see things to where you know that this isn't going anywhere. And how many human beings still stay in that? They stay into that, and the whole time they're thinking and they're coming to a viewpoint that this is something that I can't deal with. You throw away these nuances whenever you go to extreme measures. That's all.
See if you want to respond, you can respond.
My only response is that I understand nuance. I do understand that. My point is that I watched the show, and my opinion is that the nuance does not exist with Ramses as it relates to that issue. Now, it may exist in other people's lives. I'm not saying everyone who ends up in a Ramses-like situation is just using the woman as a cum bucket. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking on what I witnessed with Ramses, and that's how I feel. It's how a lot of people feel. They feel like that he was using her for her body, especially because he recognized that she was desperate and really needed love. So that's my opinion. Now, if you think that there's nuance with Ramses, y'all have a right to feel that way. I don't.
For me, I felt that way. And when Seaway said it last time, it resonated with me just because he didn't seem to care about her health. He didn't seem to care about how she was feeling. It was just like he wanted to hit it and he wanted to hit it raw. So that's how I thought of it. As far as, you know, him being a villain, I don't think he's a villain. I think he's confused largely. I think he's fairly selfish because it's hard for him to, he either can't put himself in the woman in the situation's point of perspective, or maybe because he's been divorced already, and because this is like, we have to admit, it's a very strange process. He's just kind of thinking about himself in it, kind of like, you know, and same with some of the other couples that we talked about. They're just kind of checking off boxes. Is this okay with me? Is this okay with me? And will I go to the altar with this? I think the couples we've seen who succeed on the show are the ones who are able to kind of suspend disbelief. So like from the very beginning, Taylor and Garrett decided that they were a couple. They were a we, and they were going to behave like a we. So it was never a question of like, what do, you know, me and self-protection, or me and what I need to have. But with Ramses, it was very much like, almost like he had a list of what he needed to have in a relationship. And, you know, she was going to do those things, or he wasn't about it. So that's how I look at it.
So I definitely agree that Ramses was not genuine. I did agree with you with that, Seaway, but I felt like Merissa was using Ramses as an emotional support dog. Like, she's using him to give her this completion that she needs in her life. She's using him so she can feel chosen due to her lack of self-esteem. So as much as he may have used her for sex, I feel like she is just using him for like some emotional stability that she's lacking in her life.
Well, Phil, I actually agree with you there. I think that's actually what I was trying to get to earlier, is the fact that her gaps in her trying to kind of make any man work in her life has opened her up to a lot of bad things. And I think that she was willing to make it work with Ramses no matter what he said. They could have been a complete mixed match, and she was still trying to make it work because she wanted the love, she wanted to be married, she wanted the things. And she was trying to insert Ramses into a situation that probably wasn't best for her or best for him. So
right.
I can agree with that.
So I agree with you, Seaway, but when you say that, back to your earlier question, any man she's gonna be with, because Merissa does that, is going to be the villain, just like she is going to be in the villain in that relationship, because she is just trying, because of her being incomplete with herself and being Merissa standing alone. Any man she gets with is going to be the villain, because why? It's never going to be genuine, because she's just trying to make them fit instead of them fitting. She's trying to put, what they say, a circle into a square peg. So that's why both of them would be the villain in the situation.
Can I respond to that though, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
I've had situations where on both sides, where a man will say, hey, you know what? I know we want to make this work. He'll say we. He probably actually meant me. You know how men will do, you know, trying to be nice. You know, I know you want to make this work, but this is not going to work. And do it before the woman feels used, or before anybody feels used or taken advantage of. So I don't think it has anyone that she's with has to be a villain, because I've seen plenty of times where a man who knows that this is not working out is able to cut things off before things get too far.
But in this situation, I hate to say it, that's what Ramses did. He just didn't explain himself well enough. He cut it off before they made it to the altar, which was the best thing he could have done, instead of getting to the altar and cutting it off, or going through with the marriage and then a couple of months later they're getting divorced. So in fact, he did do the best thing in that relationship. He thought this was a girl he could enjoy. They, you know, made it out the pods. They made it on vacation, but once they lived together, he saw that it wasn't working. His explanation could have been better. He owed her that much, but he did make the best decision for that relationship that he could. He cut it off before they got to the altar.
His reasons were selfish, and because the reasons were selfish, the way he cut it off with her wasn't right. I don't think with him, with the generalization you made, I think Marissa would do better with a man who is mature and a man who is more secure in themselves. Like maybe Marissa, I mean, she definitely needs to do a lot of work on her own, but she can't be with someone that's immature and confused and someone who is insecure. That just magnifies all of her issues. So I disagree that, you know, any man she's with would become the villain. I think she has to be with a specific type of person and she has to do a lot of work on herself.
So I agree with you, but I think we need to flip it. She needs to do that work first and then get with that man. Because how do we know what
I
kind of
agree.
man she needs to be with until she gets herself together? So while I do agree with you, I think we need to flip it. Marissa needs to work on herself and get herself in a better situation and then get that man. Because right now, I don't even think Marissa knows what kind of man she needs because she don't even really know who she is as a woman and how she wants to present herself in a relationship.
Ideally, I would agree with you, right? But like this might be a lifelong battle with self, you know, like this is many, many years of therapy. We saw her mom and her family situation that she came from. So it's going to be a long haul. And if Marissa wants to have kids, Marissa wants to move on with her life, you know, like you can be in therapy and working on yourself and also have a relationship. So like I agree with you that she shouldn't just be like trying to solve her problems with people, filling her holes with people, but at the same time she might be working on herself and get in a decent relationship, but she can't choose anybody that's as immature as that guy,
It came across
and
to
she
me as
can't
if
choose somebody
maybe like
that's as insecure as he is.
I
yeah,
agree, and I just wanted to add this one last thing. Where her daddy at? Because I got smoke for him too. Not just her mama. Where her daddy at?
I think
Because
her
I
daddy's
want him
no
to
longer
feel this
living.
wrath too.
If I'm recalled, I think her daddy's no longer living.
My bad.
I got the impression from Marissa as well that she wanted so desperately to pick a different kind of guy to what she normally chooses, because what she normally chooses quite clearly doesn't work. And I feel that made her choose Ramses, because Ramses said a lot of very different things in the past to her. And I think she became obsessed with this idea like, he's so different. He couldn't be like the other guys because he's so different. And it made her choose him. And he looks different and he dresses a bit differently. He's quite flamboyant. He's quite out there. If I saw Ramses, I might think, well, isn't he interesting? Until you get speaking to him and realize it's not really that way.
Honey, how do I pronounce your name? Honey Yan?
It's Hania.
Hania? I'm sorry, I apologize. I love your point. It made me cringe at the final second of that scene when Ramses went to hug Marissa because the entire conversation was about her needing her space, and I was just like, this dude, like he's showing that he's extreme, extremely selfish. But whenever I look at Ramses, I just see a guy that should not be in a relationship. I don't care what the reason is. You have broken somebody else for whether your lack of ability to say how you feel, whatever the reason is. If you genuinely care, you stay out of relationship. My issue with Marissa is I see a lot of people uh, that need to work on themselves. However, if she does get this perfect guy that you're talking about, this guy that's tailor made for her, you tend to lack off on trying to figure out your own issues. That person can mask you from doing the self discovery that you need.
I think you're right. I think it's tough though because you have the one little life, and like it's for us women, it's ticking. The clock is ticking. So if you want to get in those important life steps, like I don't mean like getting a wedding dress or whatever, but if she wants kids, for example, it makes it harder to be like waiting and waiting and waiting, and there might be no end in sight. Like I don't know the level of her issues, right?
Marissa seemed desperate to have children as well, because she told Ramsey something in the pods about however many years until we have kids. And then when they met her mom was like, oh, she'd have kids right now. And she didn't say, oh, no, mom, you're wrong about that. I didn't say that to Ramses. She kept her mouth shut. She was very desperate to have kids. And if I'm Ramses, like I suppose being the devil's advocate, if I'm Ramses and I hear that, I might be thinking, well, hold your horses. I wanted to take my time before having children. Why are you all of a sudden now saying you'd be okay with suddenly having kids? That would come across as quite scary to me.
So
I
she
think
meets
that
this mature
Hold on.
man. Wouldn't this really mature man, if the guy that you guys are saying, not date her? Why, like if he can see the contradictions, he can see that she's going to do anything that he says because she loves more than looking at what she particularly needs for herself or her own values and wants. Wouldn't the guy you're describing not date her?
no, I'm not thinking that she should rush out and go and get somebody now. And I'm agreeing with Phil that she does need to get work done. She needs to work on herself. I'm just saying it doesn't always work. Like there's people that are addicts, that are alcoholics, that go in treatment, do the work, and as they are doing that, they have a partner. So it's not like we reach this stage where we're perfect and then all of a sudden it's like you can have a partner. I just was thinking of, in what would be the best type of partner for her. And it's not this guy. As far as the age goes too, or the kids go to, the reality is, and this might be scary, but it's like if you're a man and you're dating a woman in her 30s, her mid to late 30s, you have to expect that she probably is going to be looking to have kids. Like that would be a reason for you to date someone younger, someone older, if that's an issue for you. um because there's just a biological imperative to have those kids,
Yeah,
and
no,
the notation.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're gonna
But you
end it
shouldn't
there,
want to have
guys. We're
kids
gonna end it
because
there.
they
We're
will
gonna
come
end it there.
later.
We're gonna end it there. We're gonna end it there. Listen, look, it's been a good conversation. Listen, Saturday is a super panel. Okay, this was meant to be an impromptu. You guys have talked well. I mean, you've shared different points of view. We've had a little bit of carnage. We've had some good debates. We have different points, holistic viewpoints on different people on the show. Listen, Saturday night we are gonna go ham and go hard. Okay, all right. I hope you're gonna be ready for that. Listen, I've enjoyed all the different points. It's been good. Okay. So Saturday night I said Saturday night, well, we actually Saturday afternoon for you guys actually saying that. Because we had it at 7:30 last time. So I think I have it at 7. So we had it at 1 o'clock. We'll have it at 1 o'clock. It'll be 2 o'clock. It'll be 3 o'clock EST because our clocks have gone back. So 3 o'clock EST, 2 p.m. CST will be on Saturday night. So come ready to give your points of views and your different thoughts as well. It's good to have. We just had a good conversation today, and I know, it was intriguing because it was hot, because we just fresh off the pressure and watching the show. It's still fresh in our minds. By Saturday, the water would have rushed over us a little bit a few times. Your shower and your bath would have cooled you down all, okay? But listen, there's no Sean, so I'm gonna just take it away and say, listen, make sure you guys are ready for that show on Saturday. There is actually a thing I want to read out. Sorry, B Love said, it's crazy how people can say I love you so lovely, so loosely these days, then break up and the next day I say I used to love such and such. That isn't love. I hear you. Listen, our new members, Asia, we have Tinashe, Joe, and we have also Tay as well. Welcome to the club. Again, Saturday will also be a members only comment section. Not a members only live, but members only comment section. So if you haven't joined the members, you need to join the members. Thank you for Moon Dust for joining, Trey, for is it Hannah Yan? I'm going to pronounce it wrong too, because me, my pronunciations, I definitely can kill someone's name. Jay, Love Lens Review, Phil, it's good to see you on board as well. Seaway, always great to have you on here as well. Listen, Saturday night, come ready, okay? Saturday night, come ready. Be on time so that you don't miss the important sections that you want to talk about and you want to hear about. We'll probably go for 4 hours. I can't lie to you because I'm sure people really want to flesh out the conversation on that attempt. But before I do go, it is Sean's birthday. I know he's not on here, so he probably doesn't want to be embarrassed. But Sean's birthday today. Well, it was actually still, technically it's still today, but it's for some areas. But it's his birthday today, and we want to wish him a happy birthday. If you would love to support Sean as well, send him a little birthday gift in his Cash App. His Cash App is Sean Davis 120. Send him a little something to show that you appreciate him. And I know the ladies will, because he's been killing it of late with the points. He's talking about the M's and the P's. Okay, all right? And we want to see some P's in that account. Okay, ladies? All right? Vote with your pennies and your pounds and your dollars, as I would say. All right? So send him a little something just to say you happy birthday to him as well, and show some appreciation to him. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. I need to go. I would say go and sleep, but I got to go to London now. So I appreciate y'all, and I might be on a little bit later on because I need to do Married at First Sight live as well. So I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Don't do anything I won't do, okay, baby? Don't do what I would not do. There's not much I won't do. And we had 800 plus people on the channel. What a blessing. We'll see you on Saturday night for another rendition of Love is Blind Season 7 reunion. We'll see you there.